So I want to talk about this. I don't know how many of you saw this today. So Karl is again being sued by Billy Mitchell. Billy Mitchell, as I'll bring you up to speed on the lore, disgraced best gamer of all time. What did he call himself? The gamer of the century? Can't quite recall. Donkey Kong world record holder, outed as a fraud, in denial for the rest of his life, allegedly a fraud. Otherwise, I'm going to get sued for saying that. And he just goes on like a legal rampage to try and scare people into silence. So he throws his meat around to get people on edge so they don't talk about him or they remove anything that's, hypercritical of him. Karl has once again found himself in the crosshairs of old Billy Mitchell here. So he's now posted this video talking about it, and this one is a little scarier than the last one. Billy Mitchell's got the fangs out, so he's coming out locked and loaded. And it's just a really fucking sad situation that Billy Mitchell continues to do this. He's what they call a serial suer. He just files all kinds of these frivolous lawsuits knowing full well they won't make it to court, but is still expensive on the people he files them against most of the time. It's a fucking disgrace. And he's absolutely shit at games.
Hello, you absolute legends. As many of you know, last year I was officially sued by Billy Mitchell. In September of 2021, Mitchell filed a $450,000 lawsuit against me over my video titled "The Biggest Conman in Video Game History, Strike
Great video,
Again."
too.
In that video, I go over a couple of ridiculous lawsuits that Billy Mitchell and Todd Rogers had filed. I get questions all the time from people asking me if I'm still being sued, and the answer is yes.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with Billy Mitchell, but you've seen the regular show, Billy Mitchell was so upset that they used his image in... Here, I'll bring it up, actually. I don't even know why I'm going to try and paint it with words when I can just look it up. So, in here, they used this as like an antagonist when it was about like a high score episode. Billy Mitchell got pissed. He got so fucking mad. And this is honestly the best Billy Mitchell's ever looked. I actually think regular show did him a great service. Usually he's dressed like he's running for student class president. But here, they made him look cool. I can't remember if he sued them though. Oh no, he did. He did and lost. Which sounds par for the course in the life of Billy Mitchell. Judge declares Mitchell is not a giant floating head. Cool ruling. Though I do understand why Billy might be a little upset because they portrayed him as like this ferociously unhinged maniac, which he is. So that's just a big old get fucked Billy. Unlucky. I actually haven't read the quotes from the ruling. The television character does not match the plaintiff in appearance. GBF, character in the show, appears as a non-human creature, a giant floating head with no body from outer space, while plaintiff is a human being. And when GBF loses his title, the character literally explodes, unlike plaintiff. One could argue Billy Mitchell also explodes, but it's far more embarrassing. His explosions just usually end up with shittily written lawsuits and as well as just verbal tantrums and salt. But yeah, he lost.
Being sued? And the answer is yes. Not only am I still being sued, but as you're about to find out, things have gotten out of hand. Billy Mitchell's compulsive need to threaten and sue people that talk about him has reached all-time highs, and you will not believe what he has recently done to try to silence me.
Yeah.
But before that, I want to give you an idea about how expensive and devastating defending a frivolous lawsuit can be. In the past year alone, my legal defense has cost $180,000.
Yep.
Yes, you heard correctly, $180,000.
That's why it's so disgraceful when someone takes this absolute garbage route. There's a lot of people that have done this online. You guys might remember BitBoy Crypto tried something similar against Atozy, where Atozy called him out on some of the shit he was talking about, and BitBoy Crypto threatened this big lawsuit, defamation, I can't sleep, I can't eat because he called me a dirtbag, that kind of shit. It is always such a financial burden to fight that shit, even though it doesn't win the case. The whole point is to bleed you of money. It's so fucked up. It's so dumb. The scummiest shit you can do, really.
Obviously, I can't get into the specifics, but there are a lot of things that have to happen before trial, and it's all extremely expensive. Now, luckily, I've been in a very fortunate position because I had a couple of people reach out to me and have helped immensely over the past 12 months. Notch, the creator of Minecraft, was very helpful in the beginning and has supported me a lot. And then another gentleman by the name of Julian was extremely generous and funded a huge amount of money. Those guys are absolutely insane, and I will always be in their debt for the help they have provided me. $180,000 is so much money, and I can't even begin to imagine what it would be like for someone who did not have the support system I do to face something like this alone. Which also just highlights how vile and disgusting people are that abuse the legal system.
Does it not cost... This is Todd Roger, by the way. Todd Roger also does something similar. Does it not cost Billy Mitchell money to file these? I don't know. I'm not well versed enough to know for sure. A lot of times the frivolous lawsuits, in order to file them, it's not super expensive or anything. You can do it relatively cheap, at least compared to fighting it. Because once you file it, the onus is really on the person you're going after to defend themselves against you. So that's where a lot of the money comes from. So yes, it does cost something for them to do it, but it doesn't cost nearly as much for them to file it as it does to fight it.
To frivolously attack people they want to silence. It is estimated that this lawsuit is going to cost at least another $100,000 before it's over. But things get a lot worse and a lot more stupid from here. Because you see, Billy Mitchell isn't satisfied just suing me once. Oh no, he is going to sue me
Double
again.
dipping.
In April of this year, I released a video called Disgraced Gamer Billy Mitchell Accused of Extortion, where I factually and objectively reported on accusations made against Mitchell by the current Donkey Kong World Record holder, Robbie Lakeman.
Then that's where you made a mistake, Carl. I gotta tell you, when it comes to Billy Mitchell, there's no such things as facts, only feelings. And you poke the sleeping bear. Billy was content with just one frivolous lawsuit, but now he's going in full throttle.
If you watched that video, you'll notice that at no point did I ever give my opinion on the validity of those accusations. I was simply reporting on public claims made by a very noteworthy person, who was also someone that Mitchell was using as a defense witness in his own lawsuits. But Mitchell didn't want to sue the person that actually made the claims. No, he wants to sue me just for talking about them. So first, his lawyer sent me a letter saying that the video was defamatory. And after we made it clear that I wouldn't take the video down because all of my statements in the video were literally true, and I wasn't even the person who made the claims he has a problem with, he sent me another $450,000 lawsuit. Now this is already stupid enough, as in my humble opinion, he has absolutely no case, and this is just an attempt to scare me, but it still gets even worse.
Yeah, it's an expensive scare tactic though. And I have to say, I love the nuts on Karl. So, usually in these things, they make a request, take down the video or else. A lot of times, because of how expensive this is and how scary the big numbers are, people fold, take it down. Hope that's the end of it. Karl sticks to his guns, and I always appreciate that. I always think that's great. Just say, okay, you want to dance? Mama's putting on the dancing shoes then. Let's hit the tango. And then duke it out from there. Because going forward, while it's cheaper to file it than it is to fight it, it is still going to cost Billy Mitchell money should this continue. He's going to lose money as well. And it's not like he's like super wealthy. He does have a decent chunk of change to his name from what I understand. But it's not like he's made out of money. He can't fight this thing forever. But if Karl's got this big meat in his corner, an actual billionaire, Karl probably could fight it for a while. Karl's in a very lucky position for that lawsuit, honestly. Most people aren't that lucky.
Because Billy Mitchell isn't satisfied just suing me twice. Oh no, apparently he wants to go for the hat trick and sue me 3 times. And this latest action is the worst yet, and you couldn't even make this up if you tried. In May of this year, I released a video called I Cheated in a Speedrun and I Need to Come Clean, which was a parody video where I jokingly made fun of myself for submitting a few cheated scores to a gaming magazine over 20 years ago when I was a kid. Anyone who's watched that video might be wondering what this has to do with Billy Mitchell.
It was brought up in the
video
lawsuit.
wasn't about him, nor did I even talk about him. And
Yeah.
that's a valid question. But here is the amazing thing. While it is true that I didn't mention or talk about Billy Mitchell, I did show this clip.
You're familiar with Billy Mitchell, world video game champion? He could probably do it. So I gotta find a way to harness his power, and I think I found a way.
That's right, we're gonna cheat.
This is a meme that was made back in 2020, which has over 4 million views
Fire
on YouTube
meme.
and millions of views on Twitter. That's right, in the entire video, I literally did not mention Billy Mitchell
He
at
should
all
sue
or
Angry
talk about
Video
him.
Game
I
Nerd.
simply randomly threw in this meme of someone else talking as a joke, and Billy Mitchell wants to sue me for this. Shortly after I released that video, his lawyer sent me this letter. And mind you, this isn't just a letter, this is a concerns notice, which is a legal document that you are required to send to someone before you sue them. We act for William Mitchell. This is a concerns notice for the purpose of Section 14, Defamation Act, Queensland 2005. On 13th of September 2021, our client commenced a claim against you for defamation damages in respect to the publication of a video on the digital platform YouTube on or about 26th of May 2021. On 10th of April,
Someone brought it up. Yeah, did the movie Pixels parody this guy? I actually still haven't finished watching that movie. I don't even remember why I stopped. I don't even remember it being like super awful. But yeah, as I understand it, it was a parody of Billy Mitchell and Pixels. I don't know how he responded to that. Why don't we find out? Let me see. That must have been consensual because I didn't hear him having a baby tantrum about that. Oh, I didn't remember this. Peter Dinklage plays a Billy Mitchell stand-in who's always bested Adam Sandler's character when they were kids. It's revealed the reason he was so good was because he cheated. Fucking hype. I'm assuming Billy Mitchell tried a lawsuit there. I'm curious. No, maybe not. Let me see. He must have consented to that then. Maybe that was too big of an opportunity for him to get upset about. They had the creator of Pac-Man get eaten by Pac-Man in the movie. That's a little different though. Billy Mitchell is always adamant that he's never cheated. It's all legit. He is... What does he call himself? Is it the Gamer of the Century? Like, he calls himself fucking Gamer of the Century or something. What is his title? Oh, Video Game Player of the Century. Not even... Jesus, Gamer of the Century would have been better. Why Video Game Player? You just call yourself Gamer and you get one word for the price of 3. Jesus Christ. That shit is some turbo cringe. He hasn't met me. True.
April 2022, you posted on the web a video entitled Disgraced Gamer Billy Mitchell Accused of Extortion, which is the subject of a concerns notice sent to you on 20th of April 2022. On 7th of May 2022, you posted on the web a further video entitled I Cheated in a Speedrun and I Need to Come Clean, which read relevantly as follows. I needed to harness the power of the greatest gamer that ever lived. You're familiar with Billy Mitchell, world video game champion. He could probably do it, so I gotta find a way to harness his power, and I think I found a way. That's right, we are going to cheat. Mr. Mitchell was identified in the publication by his name. The words in their ordinary and natural meaning meant and were understood to mean that Billy Mitchell is a person who defrauds, deceives, or tricks other people and is a swindler. Billy Mitchell is guilty of fraudulently hoodwinking so as to obtain unfair advantage when competing in video games.
Yeah, that is what the meme is saying. I don't know how you really sue for the meme though, especially when Karl didn't even make the meme. He should go after the meme maker. In fact, he should just go after anyone that says anything about him on Twitter or Reddit. Like, just really put your tentacles all the way out there. Why not?
The words and the imputations are untrue and are grossly defamatory. Yeah, I'm sure they are. The video has been viewed by a substantial number of people, and an extensive number of comments have been posted on your YouTube page. Section 10A of the Defamation Act
Including
at
you?
the time of your...
I'm actually shocked Billy Mitchell hasn't come after me yet. Not only have I made fun of this man extensively for years now, talked about him on the podcast quite a bit, I keep up with Billy Mitchell and the enjoyable tragedy that is his public reputation and how he just wipes his ass with it constantly. I'm super finger on the pulse when it comes to Billy Mitchell. I am shocked he hasn't tried. I suppose he's welcome to if he wants. I would absolutely fight that shit tooth and nail. I'd request that it be live streamed as well, so that way there's fucking content flowing from it. I think it'd be great. Billy Mitchell strikes me as the type of guy that would represent himself in court too. Even though none of his lawsuits have ever made it that far because they're such dog shit, I feel like if they did, he would represent himself. It would be just a content factory. Easy tier 1 shades in the resub 3 and Panther.
publication requires Mr. Mitchell to establish that your publication has caused, or is likely to cause, serious harm to his reputation. Oh my lord. Billy Mitchell is a joke. He has become a parody of himself.
True.
This letter is nothing short of hilarious.
Not defamatory.
And I would otherwise
Truth.
be laughing if not for the fact that this is a real letter written by a real lawyer that my lawyers really had to respond to. I sincerely cannot believe that even he would stoop this low. But just think about this for a moment. The video wasn't about Billy Mitchell at all. I didn't talk about him or mention him. In fact, the video was about me cheating. All I did was include a 10-second meme that I didn't make, that isn't even of me talking, that's an obvious joke, that was released years ago and already has millions of views. And Billy Mitchell started
And now you're going to jail
legal action
for
against
it.
me,
I bet you
claiming
regret
there's
it, huh?
defamation. But what makes this so much crazier
Too far.
is that Billy Mitchell did cheat. So not only does he want to sue me over a meme that someone else made, but he wants to sue me over a meme that someone else made that's true. And what's ironic is that there are
Huge.
hundreds of comments underneath the
Love that.
YouTube video of this clip of people making fun of Billy, joking, saying that he's going to sue them for posting it. And then he actually...
Yeah, how can you, as Billy Mitchell, they even quoted the YouTube comments in the lawsuit. So how can you, as Billy Mitchell, see these comments, them laughing at you, knowing you're going to sue him, and then still do it? You make yourself an even bigger joke. It is actually just impressive. Billy Mitchell is like a human snowball, like just tumbling down a mountain, getting bigger and bigger and bigger as more and more failures compound, and then eventually just having this comedic explosion at the bottom that everyone points and laughs at. What a remarkable legacy.
actually does go and threaten to sue me for using that exact clip. This is what I mean when I say he is a parody of himself. People can't even joke about him anymore, because he really does act that way. Now, it's all well and good to laugh about how crazy this whole situation is, but unfortunately for me, it comes with huge consequences. I have done absolutely nothing wrong, and I will never be
True.
scared into silence by anyone. But until I win in court and defeat this madness, it's going to cost a ton of money. And I'm truly sorry, but I do need help. Maybe if I was the only variable in this whole mess, I could battle my way through it alone. But unfortunately, this affects my entire family too. And psychologically and financially, some help would really benefit not
Did
only
he
me,
3D
but
print his
them as
own
well.
hair?
So I have set up a GoFundMe
Probably.
to help with my fight against Billy Mitchell. And any help would be immensely appreciated.
Absolutely.
This GoFundMe is set to cover the rest of my existing lawsuit, plus the new lawsuit that Billy Mitchell says he will be filing, plus having to deal with all of the other bullshit threats that come my way. This is in Australian dollars, so it's not as large as it seems, but it's still a very significant amount of money that it's
I think
going
it's
to take to
150K
defeat
USD.
Mitchell. There is light at the end of the tunnel though. In Australian court, generally the loser has to pay a lot of the legal fees of the winning party. So
How's the GoFundMe going? I hope it's going well. I haven't checked. Fuck yeah. Hey, that's a good day one right there. I'll be donating to it. I really think when Karl wins, I don't see a world where Billy somehow squeaks out a dub here. I think when Karl wins, Karl needs to countersue. And I will do whatever it takes to make that possible. I want to put Billy Mitchell against the ropes. I want Karl and Billy to duke it out in court. And I just want to be there with the popcorn to spectate. Because you can countersue for frivolous lawsuits. Knowingly filing bogus lawsuits isn't necessarily allowed. You can come back against that, for sure. So I really think once this is all settled, the dust settles, I think a countersuit is the right play.
So if I eventually win, which does seem extremely likely, Mitchell should have to pay back a lot of money. And I was thinking that in his honor, I could use that money to put on an epic gaming tournament. Perhaps we could call it the Gary Bobby Ferguson Memorial Epic Gaming Event for people who don't cheat in video games or sue people who call them out. I'm not sure. I might
Catchy
have to
title.
find a way to shorten it a bit. The next 12 months will not be good for Billy Mitchell. He has his trial against Twin Galaxies coming up, and in my opinion,
Oh,
and in
yeah.
the opinion of anyone who knows the details of Mitchell's cheating, he has absolutely no chance of winning.
I completely fucking forgot. Billy Mitchell is actually being sued right now. So in the middle of him getting sued, he is still sending out lawsuits. This man is unstoppable. I forgot Twin Galaxies is suing him. Since his records were hosted on Twin Galaxies, they hold him responsible for their reputation tanking and their public image being less trustworthy because Billy Mitchell was always like hoisted up by Twin Galaxies. So they're suing him. I don't remember how much for though. I actually completely fucking forgot about that. Can you give me something where I don't have to sign up? Thank you. No way Billy Mitchell won. What? I defeated Twin Galaxies in court in its misguided attempt to prevent me from having my day in court on my defamation claims. What? If you or establish some sort of strong chance of prevailing rather than this case being simply allowed. Oh! So the case is going to trial. He didn't fucking win. It's going to trial and he's calling it a win. Okay. I see. Yeah. Court wasn't even allowed to consider competing evidence, some of which straightforwardly shows Billy's claims to be false, such as easily debunked claim that Billy never assisted Carlos. Okay, I see. Allegedly. Got it. He's cheating at court. This is just misleading. So this is just straight up fucking misleading. So he's celebrating the fact that the case moves forward now, which means it's all going to be scrutinized in court. Well, that's exciting. This was in September. Right? That's when this article was? September? Oh no, May this year. So it should be rolling around soon-ish. Man, this seems like a really great article on the whole thing. I'll have to read that later. But yeah, he is currently in a high-profile lawsuit right now, Twin Galaxies. That's why they sued him, right? I'm pretty sure it was over the, like, how badly he made their site look, like their business. Twin Galaxies got new ownership, and one of the big things he did as a power move was go after Billy Mitchell because of all the records that were bogus, allegedly bogus. I'm pretty sure that was the entire crux of it. Thanks, Recent Prophecy. Oh, wait. No, maybe I got it backwards. Is Billy Mitchell suing them? I thought it was... No, the Twin Galaxies head has a video up there talking about why he's going after Billy Mitchell. Is that in response to the Billy Mitchell suing them? Oh my god, how fucking deep does this go? Because I remember the video. Damn, we need like a full timeline right up here. Mitchell sued Twin Galaxies for defamation. Twin Galaxy attacks Billy Mitchell as fraud in new legal claims. So, is this a chicken and egg scenario? Who came first? They're going on the offensive in its long-running legal and public relations with Billy Mitchell. A cross-complaint filed. So they filed a counterclaim. That's what it is. Okay. So they filed a counterclaim. Got it. Jesus. What a ride. Next the resub. Cooties, Easy, Shredder, and Flash. The bitch chef.
Especially when even more technical evidence showing that he cheated keeps coming out. As if it wasn't already conclusive enough, recently, a huge document from an electrical engineer showed a mountain of new evidence that Billy's story isn't true. And when he loses this lawsuit against Twin Galaxies, oh boy, they are going to come after him hard. Mitchell can keep threatening people for now, but as soon as he loses one of these lawsuits, which is inevitable, he will be absolutely destroyed and everything will come crumbling down. So, this has been an update to what I've been dealing with.
So one thing Karl says that I think is a little wrong is everything crumbling down for Billy Mitchell. That makes it sound like Billy Mitchell has like a prospering career. He doesn't. Billy Mitchell is like the definition of washed up has-been. Everything will come crumbling down should all of these lawsuits not go in his favor, which I highly doubt they will. But it's not like he's in a good spot right now in general. People talk about him as the butt of jokes. He's not necessarily a celebrity. He's not looked at as a video game icon or champion or anything. He doesn't have like a big empire. He's just a big asshole who has ruined his own legacy and refuses to accept any level of responsibility. No one gives a fuck about Billy Mitchell aside from laughing at him for every frivolous lawsuit. He's got hot sauce. Oh, he does have hot sauce, actually. I saw that. You might get sued. I'm not saying anything defamatory. I'm just saying the truth of where he's at right now. He may or may not have cheated. There's a lot of evidence to suggest he did, but it's all alleged, of course. I'm just talking about him being a joke of a person. That's not defamatory. I find you sad. That's not defamatory. Watching you makes me laugh and feel sadness. Thanks to the resub Celtics. Is the hot sauce good? Actually, that's a great question. I'm going to order some of Billy Mitchell's hot sauce. This will be the first sale he's gotten in 5 years. I'll try it. I'll do a little review of it. Okay, I got it pulled up. I'll get me one of those bottles.
With behind the scenes. Again, if you have the means, I would appreciate any help, so please consider donating to my GoFundMe, or consider sharing this video. Thank you so much for watching, you legends. I hope you are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.
Love you, Karl. I have full faith Karl slam dunks this. Fuck yeah. You just donated to Billy Mitchell's GoFundMe by buying his hot sauce. I haven't bought it yet. Maybe I'll try and find like a third-party reseller. Though I'm not gonna lie, there is a part of me that is a bit concerned about botulism if I get Billy Mitchell's hot sauce. How much can he possibly know about food? I know he has a restaurant, if I remember correctly. Let me see. So maybe it's alright. Yeah, he does have a restaurant. It is tied to the restaurant. Shit, I can't decide. I'll think about it. I think that could be an interesting experiment. Thanks to resub Cole. He doesn't make it in his bedroom. Hey, you don't know. You don't know Billy Mitchell's cooking techniques. I don't know them either. I'm just saying there is like a little part of me that would be concerned. But again, maybe it's all by the book's hot sauce. I don't know. I'll look into it, but I think I might get myself a bottle and give it a try. Thanks, Resub Arkrim. Here's a review from Amazon. Bought it as a joke because Billy Mitchell put himself back in the news. Total waste of money. Tastes like salt water and its ingredients are aged red peppers. That must be bell peppers because there's no flavor or heat. Allegedly. That's just a fucking review. I'm still going to say allegedly because Billy Mitchell is absolutely insane. Allegedly a lunatic. Great review, though. That actually sounds like something I would have written. That might have been Charlie from the future. I bought this as a joke because Billy Mitchell's back in the news. Legitimately my exact thought process right now. Thanks for the gift sub, Astro. Who is Billy Mitchell? Never heard of this motherfucker. That's exactly what I'm talking about. The only reason people know him is for this shit. He was the video gamer of the century back in the fucking 80s. This guy is literally still riding his own coattails, stuck in his own shadow from the fucking 80s. He held like the Donkey Kong world record. But then a ton of evidence came out, a ton of reports, a ton of claims, fucking forensic expert write-ups. An absolute mountain of evidence came out to suggest Billy Mitchell's records may have been fabricated. And then a floodgate was opened that confirmed a lot of other people's records were faked. Like a lot of records that were on like Twin Galaxies were just completely fraudulent. But Billy Mitchell has maintained his innocence the entire time and fights tooth and nail to sue anyone that suggests otherwise. What do you do now? I don't know. I haven't seen this yet. I'm really hoping that this is truly just like, you know, dead to rights. Billy Mitchell's whole case against Karl, it just has to get thrown out. Completely unusable now. I don't know what evidence could have come out here. Maybe a sex tape where he just admits to being like a complete fucking loser who bullies people legally. I don't know. But I'm excited.
Hello, you absolute legends. In 2019, Video Game Player of the Century Billy Mitchell sued Twin Galaxies for defamation after they removed his high scores from their database and said he didn't achieve them on original hardware. For almost 4 years, this lawsuit has dragged on, and thankfully for everyone involved, it looks like it should be wrapping up and going to trial sometime this year. The crux of Twin Galaxies' defense so far has been centered around 2 videotapes that show Billy's high scores, and it's been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that the gameplay seen on these videotapes cannot come from an original Donkey Kong arcade. Instead, they must have come from an emulator. Billy Mitchell's
Just to quickly bring everyone up to speed here, Billy Mitchell, Video Game Player of the Century, also punching bag for the regular show, where he even tried to sue them for making fun of him in an episode, has come after many people legally for all kinds of defamation cases. And the core of it boils down to people accusing him of being a cheater. And I'm going to go a step further. They're not just accusing him like, you know, allegations of cheating. They have caught him being a cheater. You're looking at the face of a man who peaked in 1980 whatever with Donkey Kong and cheated his whole way to fame. The guy is caught using emulated software to get the high scores, but he has always maintained his innocence. And that's where it all stems from. He still claims he's never cheated, and anyone that makes fun of him or says otherwise gets a nice fat lawsuit from Billy Mitchell. Cooked up in the deepest pits of his basement, I guess. I'm pretty sure he writes them himself, and he takes it as far as it can go. Have you been sued? Billy Mitchell has still not sued me, and I have made fun of him fucking 50 times by now. I don't know why. I actually feel left out. I feel like I'm not part of the cool kids lunch table here because Billy Mitchell won't sue me. He is suing Karl because Karl used a meme of Billy that made fun of him and insinuated he was a cheater. Karl used a meme. I point blank called this absolutely disheveled, drunk-looking man a cheater a million times. Point blank. And he won't come after me? Asshole. I'm gonna sue him for refusing to sue me. This is the Prime Corn in Tier 1 Vibe, in Tier 1 Jarrell, and the resub Foreign and Machini.
Seems to have lied and said he played on an arcade machine when he in fact didn't. And this opens up the possibility for cheating in numerous ways. In his lawsuit against Twin Galaxies, Billy claims these videotapes don't matter because he achieved the scores live and he has witnesses. How is it possible that he performed them at a live event in front of hundreds of people if he faked it and actually played on an emulator? The videotapes must be fake or are not his actual gameplay or should just be ignored because he has real people that say he really did it and they saw it happen.
Watertight
So it
argument.
must be legit. As Billy said in his lawsuit, if everyone is lying, it must be a conspiracy akin to that of the Kennedy assassination. But here's the...
Wait, what? Pardon? What was that? Thus, Twin Galaxies' case essentially rests on a conspiracy nearly as broad and untenable as the Kennedy assassination. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he writes these himself. What self-respecting lawyer is going to sit down and put that in text? Who would do that? Like, I'm surprised he doesn't go into, like, the Zapruder film. What they faked here is akin to the Zapruder film. And in fact, the moon landing, too, while we're at it.
assassination. But here's the problem. The videotapes were the only tangible evidence these scores ever happened, so that's all anyone had to go off. Aside from the tapes, it was just people saying that it happened, which really doesn't cut it. There was no footage
Obviously,
of
that
Billy
doesn't cut it.
actually playing. There was nothing to indicate that he was even there, or...
I'm sorry to keep pausing so frequently. It's just such a wacky case. He still believes that he shouldn't be accused of being a cheater, because even if those tapes are faked or whatever, people saw him do it live and have said, verbally said, he did it. That's fucking useless. I could get people together and say that I grew 5 inches, but then if you see me on camera and I'm 5'6", I can't just be like, no, that doesn't make sense. That's as untenable as the Kennedy assassination. This is all fabricated. It's fraudulent. Look at all these people that said that I grew 5 inches. It's fucking worthless. It's a fucking worthless statement, and I don't know if Billy's too stupid to realize that or if he truly does believe it. Because why would anyone take you at your word? I could say I got the high score on Donkey Kong. I got a 15 billion. And then I could have everyone in chat say, yeah, Charlie got a 15 billion. Should Twin Galaxies put that on their website and make me the world record holder? I don't have any video evidence of it, but I have a ton of people that said I did it. The answer should be a resounding no. It's so silly. It's so silly. It is just so dumb.
that he played at all. That is, until now. For the first time in 15 years, photos of Billy Mitchell at one of these events where he claims to have achieved one of his world records have surfaced. And I'm not going to beat
This looks
around
cool.
the bush. These photos absolutely destroy Billy's case. He is done. There is no more
Really?
doubt Billy will lose his lawsuit. These photos...
This is already so fucking good. So these photos destroy the lawsuit. Why? The referee who looks really sad to be there? Did he let the cat out of the bag? Man, that tie is mean though. Look at Billy Mitchell's tie. Holy shit, Captain America over here. I'm very curious how these destroy it. Let's go.
There is no more doubt Billy will lose his lawsuit. These photos do more damage than anything that has come before them, and I'm not exaggerating. Even if you disregard all of the videotape evidence, Billy's world records would still be disqualified and he would still be banned for lying just because of these photos. So how is that even possible? Let's find out. I really hope you enjoy.
Man, this would be worse than if his sex tape leaked,
Now,
I guess.
Legends, I am super excited because this video is sponsored by Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon is a high-protein, zero-sugar cereal that just might be the greatest thing humans have ever invented. I absolutely love cereal. I could easily smash an entire box. But generally, cereal has very high sugar and low protein. It's just not ideal for someone like me who wants to lose fat and build muscle.
What cereal?
When Magic Spoon wanted to sponsor me, I was very skeptical. I am a cereal connoisseur. This is my ballpark.
I still eat it.
But I was very impressed with how good it is. I can easily fit Magic Spoon into my diet because of its macronutrient profile, but it honestly feels like I'm cheating because of how delicious
$10 for a
it
tiny
tastes.
box. The box isn't
Personally,
tiny.
my favorite flavor is fruity,
At least not compared
and
to
I
other
eat it before bed.
cereals.
This helps me stick to my diet throughout the entire day because I really have something to look forward to. For those looking to improve their body composition or just want a cereal with more natural ingredients, I cannot recommend Magic Spoon enough. And if you click the link
It's
in
the
the
same size as my
description or
Lucky
use the
Charms
promo
box.
code
They're in my pantry
LEGEND,
together.
you
They're
will
the same
get
size.
$5 off your order.
Though I guess you
Magic
could get like a
Spoon
jumbo
is so
size.
confident they provide a 100% money back guarantee if you are not happy. Again, you can scan the QR code, use the code LEGEND, or go to magicspoon.com/legend to get $5 off today. When Twin Galaxies banned Billy Mitchell in 2018, they did so because of videotapes showing two scores. The first is a 1.047 million point score Billy achieved in 2004, known as the King of Kong score. It's called this because this score is featured in the King of Kong documentary. The second is a 1.05 million point score Billy achieved in 2007, which is known as the Mortgage Brokers score. This is because he supposedly achieved it at a mortgage broker's convention. The videotapes for both of these scores show footage that isn't legitimate. This is a fact, and it's why he was banned. But aside from...
Let me read that one more time. It's been a while since I've seen this. Yep. That sounds about right. It is inarguable that he was cheating, by the way. It's not allegations. It is legitimately inarguable. I can't remember. Did we go over the entire evidence package on stream at some point, or am I having a fake memory right now? Maybe we did it on the podcast. Because I do remember going through at least a good chunk of it quite a while back. I think Zarisub, Average, and Legionnaire. No, it wasn't on stream. Maybe it was on the podcast then.
And it's why he was banned. But aside from that, there was no other evidence that Billy even played the game, aside from a few people saying it happened. Well, to be completely fair, the King of Kong score actually does have 0 witnesses. It's the mortgage broker's score that Billy has a few witnesses for. And it's this mortgage broker's score that we now have photos for. So let's take a deeper look into this. Of course, as the tape shows the score wasn't done on an original arcade, we'd assume he didn't actually get the score at the event. But for a moment, let's forget all about the videotape and humor Billy's argument that the tapes don't matter. In his lawsuit against Twin Galaxies, Billy submitted 5 witness statements saying they were at the event when the score happened. 2 of these statements are from people who worked at the convention. They just say they were there when it happened, but they don't say they actually saw him get it. And they aren't even Donkey Kong players, so they have no idea what's going on anyway. We all know that Billy likes...
I want to see the other ones. Number 3 is just a single sentence. During the event, Billy played in a very large convention room and interacted with and performed in front of thousands of people, myself included. And? It's... Oh, this is all one person's statement. Oh, I thought this was 5 or 6 different statements from different people. I was like, what the fuck? There's nothing more there. This is one person's account. Okay. This is part of the whole thing from her statement. I was like, Jesus, come on. I don't know if I feel like going through the whole thing. But I guess a written testimonial claiming that they saw it, that's all you need. Surely there's no such thing as lying. I am still a member of the Florida Medical Board, and many of the members I worked with are still active members now. All this information is very available, very public, and quite memorable. Sheila, why are you writing that with so much attitude? You're not the one on trial for cheating or anything. That was a very aggressive sign-off.
At the convention. They just say they were there when it happened, but they don't say they actually saw him get it, and they aren't even Donkey Kong players, so they have no idea what's going on anyway. We all know that Billy likes to lie in public, as he recently showed, so a random person thinking a score happened when it really didn't doesn't mean much. So we can disregard those two statements. This leaves 3 witnesses that say they directly saw him get the world record. The first is from a guy called Richard Mallion. He says he watched Billy's score reach beyond 1 million points and that he saw him achieve his targeted score. Richard is actually a childhood friend of Billy's. In fact, he appeared opposite Billy in the school yearbook. But let's not hold that against him. While it is common for friends to lie for each other, let's not assume that's what happened. Now, when I'm deciding whether or not someone is trustworthy, what I do is create 2 columns. One for yes, I should trust them, and one for no, I should not. Then I put things into each column and weigh them up at the end. So first, I can see that Richard dresses really well. He has a nice suit, and he has a nice watch.
Very
trustworthy. No one who dresses this well could lie. So I'm going to put that into the yes column. For the no column, there isn't much I found out about Richard that really concerns me, except for this super tiny detail of him pleading guilty to conspiracy, securities fraud, money laundering, and criminal contempt in 19...
Could have happened to anyone, and in fact, I'm going to tell you what happened. He was set up by twin galaxies. They knew there was a connection between the Duck and Billy Mitchell, the King of Kong, and they tried to attack everyone in Billy's circle. Complete misunderstanding, very fabricated, not real.
1996, after an FBI sting
I wouldn't
operation.
hold it against him.
I mean, it's probably nothing, but it would be remiss of me if I didn't include it. Back to the yes column, Richard just seems like a super friendly and nice guy. I mean, no one who looks this happy could lie, so this has to go into the yes column. Now, looking at the no column, I'm going to be super nitpicky here and include this other small thing. And look, maybe this is being too judgmental, but I'm going to go ahead and add to the fact that he was charged again with fraud in 2019 by the SEC and had to pay back $750,000.
Once again, Karl, this was a setup. My man, this was twin galaxies trying to take out the witnesses. You know, no different than Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, where Scott had to go through all the ex-boyfriends and shit. This is twin galaxies going through all of the witnesses right now. You can't hold it against Richard here. He did nothing wrong.
It's probably not even worth bringing up, but again, I just want to be fully transparent. However, I must say that Richard has some really good motivational quotes on his Twitter feed. I mean, look at these quotes. They are truly inspirational, and he puts his name in bigger text than the person who actually said the quote. So when you think about it, who said the quote really? I'm going to have to put this into the yes column. Now, I should probably leave it there,
Richard earned
and
that.
at this point, I really am not being fair to Richard, but I'll just add one more thing, and I'll let you decide. In 2021, Richard was unfortunately arrested for conspiracy to commit fraud. Look, he has just not been lucky when it comes to fraud. He keeps getting caught. I, for one...
This picture here... Now I know it was a frame job, and I know it's all false, because they're doing my man Richard so dirty with this mugshot here. Like, it looks like he's fucking skydiving, like all the skin's being pushed towards the back of his skull here. It's like he's fucking melting. Where does the neck start and the chin end? Oh, man. Is he laying down and they took this picture? What is going on here?
Keeps getting caught. I, for one, do not hold this against him. When I look at this table, I see 3-3. It's pretty
That's
even.
tough. That's a toss-up.
I'm leaning towards trusting the guy, but you let me know in the comments what you think. Okay, so Billy's first witness is a bit sketch. Who's number 2? Billy's second witness that says he saw him
Oh,
get
God,
it
it's
is
Todd Rogers.
Oh boy, this is not going well. Okay, hit me with number 3. Surely we're going to get a winner.
he's probably not going to touch on Todd Rogers. Todd Rogers is another notorious cheater of these old game high scores. He has a whole saga of his own. I don't even think I could do it justice trying to summarize it here. But that is so poetic that one of the other witnesses is fucking Todd Rogers. That's amazing. This is like a team of Avengers that he has for witnesses.
The third witness that says they saw Billy get the score is Kim Mahoney, who is also Todd Rogers' girlfriend. I'm going to be completely honest here.
Coincidence.
I'm getting the impression that Billy's witnesses may not be entirely trustworthy. Anyway, let's take a look at these new photos. Remember, this is the first time we've seen any footage of Billy at this event in 15 years. So there's Billy and Todd, and Billy's talking to some dude, and that looks like the Donkey Kong cabinet behind Billy. It's got a VCR on top, which is how they recorded the score. It all looks pretty legit so far. There's Billy and Todd posing with a couple of people. There's a camera that was recording Billy play, even though that footage doesn't seem to exist for some reason.
They left the lens on.
Posing again with the thumbs up. Maybe this is just after Billy got the world record. I have to admit, everything here looks pretty legit, and oh my god, what is that?
I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm not knowledgeable enough. What is it? Is it a copyright 2023 on there?
That joystick is not an original Donkey Kong joystick. This arcade machine does not have original, unmodified Donkey Kong arcade hardware.
Oh,
this
jeepers.
is an original Donkey Kong stick. It's got a big black ball and a short column. The stick on Billy's arcade is a tall stick with a smaller ball, and it's obviously red, so the stick has been changed to something else.
Easily explainable. This machine was considered so legit that they had to change out the stick. Otherwise, because people were fighting each other to compete for high scores on it because it was so fucking real. So the stick just got worn out from overusage, but the machine, that's the only thing that's been changed. That much I'm sure of. Or, you know what, that's a good point. This could have been a special edition cabinet that was sent to Billy Mitchell by Nintendo themselves. They were so happy that the King of Kong wanted to use an arcade cabinet that they made that they gave him a special red stick. You know, for the red, white, and blue, because he's such a patriot, obviously. Easily explainable.
On top of that, it appears to be an 8-way stick. Now, the original Donkey Kong stick is 4-way, which means it can only go up, down, left, and right. But an 8-way stick, like the one you would find on all modern arcades, can also go diagonally. When it comes to Donkey Kong, an 8-way stick fundamentally changes the way the game can be played. If you want to steer barrels while on a ladder, you have to stop and hold left or right, because you can't go up and to the side at the same time. But with an 8-way stick, you can continue to climb ladders while steering barrels by using the diagonals. With an 8-way stick, you can do things you can't do on an original arcade, which is...
I'm actually just even shocked that he played the game. I thought this was going to prove that Billy Mitchell's never even touched Donkey Kong in his life. So honestly, at this point, I have a little more respect for Billy knowing that he just used a cheating device in order to have a better score, like to play better. I thought for sure it was going to come out that he just doesn't even know what Donkey Kong is. He's never touched the fucking thing in his life.
Which is why they are banned. So not only is the stick not original, which was totally banned, it looks like an 8-way stick, which is extra banned. And not only would Billy's world record still not count because of the modified stick, but Billy would still also be banned for lying about it. And oh boy, did he lie about it. His entire lawsuit against Twin Galaxies is based on the premise that he played on unmodified original arcade hardware, which is categorically not true. Not only
very
from
wrong.
The videotapes, but now from the photos as well. And his lawsuit is full of lies where Billy claims the hardware was unmodified. And not just Billy, the referees who adjudicated the score lied as well. Todd Rogers and his girlfriend Kim Mahoney both say in their sworn statements that Billy played on unmodified hardware. Everyone just got caught out big time. And it gets...
How did they even let this happen? Surely they would have recognized the stick, right? This man dedicated his entire life to Donkey Kong and his high score. He did one thing that isn't even that cool, getting a high score in Donkey Kong, and he let it define his entire fucking life for the last 24 years. And he wouldn't recognize that the stick isn't original? No, I know the photo didn't come out till now. What I'm saying is, how would he not recognize that when releasing the photo? Surely he would have done everything in his power to keep these photos buried. Fucking burn the photos, for God's sakes. He would have had to know that people would be able to easily see that it's not an original stick. He didn't release it. I get he wasn't the one that released it. What I'm saying is, I'm sure he would have done everything in his power to stop it from ever coming out. Like, legitimately burn these photos. But maybe that was just beyond his control at this point. Like, who released it? Well, maybe Karl will mention it here in a moment. Oh, that'd be an interesting speedrun, Jay. And doing alright, hope you're doing well. So the event itself. I'm just shocked he wouldn't go immediately to the event. He knew the photos were being taken. He was literally giving thumbs up with Todd Rogers in front of the cabinet. So he knew there were photos. And he would have known that people would have recognized that as a not legitimate, unmodified stick. So why would even A, let photos be taken, and B, not go to the event and like fucking scrub those archives? That is shocking to me. There's the Prime Garden and the resub Flacco.
It's even worse, because these photos don't just affect the mortgage broker's score world record, they also affect the King of Kong score as well. This is Robert Childs, who is also a longtime friend of Billy Mitchell. For those with a very good memory, this is the same guy that was in the infamous fake board swap video.
Uh-oh.
He has been lying on behalf of Billy for years.
God, this
He
is
is
like
part
found
of
footage
the
out
con
of a
artist
horror movie.
clique. Robert Childs runs Arcade Game Sales, which is an arcade retailer in Florida. Arcade Game Sales is important because this is where Billy claims he achieved the King of Kong world record, on an arcade cabinet provided by Robert Childs. Now, as part of his case, Billy Mitchell also submitted a sworn statement from Robert Childs, and Robert states in 2003 he helped Billy by providing an arcade machine. He swore that this was an original Donkey Kong arcade machine. He says this same machine was used when Billy got his King of Kong score in 2004, and says this same machine was used again in 2007 at the Mortgage Brokers Convention. This means that not only is the Mortgage Brokers score disqualified because it was a modified machine, but because Robert Childs swears it was the same machine used in 2004, the King of Kong score is disqualified as well. Billy Mitchell, Todd Rogers, Kim Mahoney, and Robert Childs were all lying about the arcade machine that was supposedly used, and now it's proven. You may be wondering why Billy would lie about something that can so obviously be disproven.
That's what I was just talking
about.
about.
The answer is that Billy didn't know these photos existed. In fact, the entire Donkey Kong community didn't know these photos existed. They were only made public recently, and not by Billy Mitchell. These photos were never made public, and they were only retrieved now by directly contacting the organizers of the convention.
That blows my mind. He literally gave a thumbs up multiple times with Todd Rogers in front of that machine. Who was he giving the thumbs up for? He knew pictures were being taken. What did he think happened to that? What? Wait, what? He must have forgotten. I guess so. This is a cool angle of Billy, though, I will say. His hair looks even more like a Lego block in this angle. But I still just can't believe that he wouldn't remember photos being taken because he posed multiple times for him. Huh. I'm also surprised that it took this long for someone to contact the event staff from the mortgage thing. I feel like a lot of people would have thought to do that a long time ago, but maybe just now they finally found the photos. Thanks to the gift sub Hollow, and the resub Tofino, and Day.
which luckily still had them. I cannot stress enough how damning these photos are. Even if you were to disregard every single thing that has ever been said about Billy being a cheater up until this point, based solely on these photos, Billy would still lose his lawsuit against Twin Galaxies. His records would still be removed, and he would still be banned, because these photos show his records are not legitimate. I cannot wait until this goes to trial, and
Wow.
you best believe that when it does, I'm going to cover it. I'm excited, and I think you should be too, because this is going to be a lot of fun. As always, thank you so much for watching, you legends. I hope you are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.
This is also great news for Karl. This is a big Karl W as well, because he is currently getting sued by this goofball, this goober. And as everyone knows, the #1 defense against defamation, which is what Billy Mitchell is coming after him for, is the absolute truth. And now, it seems, it has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, he cheated. Thus, the case against Karl is fucking kaput. Wow. All from, what, 3 photos? It really just goes to show you, sometimes the simplest means and like the simplest explanations are the most effective. Hey, so you got this at a mortgage convention, what year? And where was it? Why don't I just give them a call? Maybe they have photos. Hey, you guys have any photos? Oh, we do, yeah, you want them? Yes, please. Bang. And now it's all over for Billy Mitchell's case. Aren't frivolous lawsuits illegal? Yeah, but it feels like a lot of people get away with doing that. He's made like an entire fucking career off of frivolous lawsuits. Thanks for resub knifed. Why do we keep giving this guy attention? Man, what are you talking about? I hate that perspective. We are literally laughing at the guy and talking about how he is now 100% confirmed to be a cheater and his lawsuits are now going to be completely thrown out because he is confirmed to have cheated. That is absolutely worth talking about. Has he actually won any lawsuits? My man, I don't think he's even had one of his lawsuits make it to a trial. They get thrown out so quick. But it's still expensive for the people he sues. It's still a headache. The photo is AI generated. That'd be crazy. It's such an absurd thing to ruin your life over. Alright, let's not get carried away. Billy Mitchell didn't ruin his life over this. He's not gonna go to jail. He just has a legacy of being a fucking joke of a person and an insufferable asshole for all the frivolous lawsuits he tosses at people that make fun of him or point out that he's cheated. He hasn't ruined his life. The man has a fucking hot sauce deal, for God's sakes. None of which I think he earned, by the way. He has one accolade, and it's high scores at Donkey Kong, that he fucking cheated. So in fact, he got dealt a really lucky hand. He got one thing that he's never let go, and he's somehow found success from it. Might want to tone it back before he sues you. He can't anymore. He literally can't. Because the truth is now abundantly clear. Even if you set aside all of the inarguable evidence of him cheating, now these pictures that have come out confirm it even more beyond a shadow of a doubt. He legitimately can no longer sue anymore. Thanks to resub Joe Star and Pie. The gift sub Hainsey. Why do these confirm he's cheating? Oh, if you weren't here, I'll give you the quick explanation. So the whole claim is that he got the high scores on an unmodified original hardware. However, now that these pictures are out, you can see it's not. So the original hardware did not have this stick. It had a small black stick. So it had a black ball on top in the stick. Not this. So immediately that disqualifies all of his records because it is not unmodified hardware. He's lied about it. It is clearly modified. Oh yeah, and it's an 8-way stick apparently, which is another banned device because it gives you an advantage. You're able to cheat the game a bit more by being able to go in the other 4 angles here diagonally. So this stick right here just throws out everything he's ever claimed. That's just the stick cover. Well, it wouldn't matter. You know what? Let's play ball with you. Let's assume that is a stick cover and the original stick is still under there. That is A, still not allowed, and B, impossible, because here's what the original stick looks like. It's a tiny little goofy, like almost doorknob. Not that long, stretched one. So it can't even just be a cover. It is a completely different stick. Chode versus grower. Yeah, I guess kinda. The OG's more chody. He's the prime Ecoless and the resub Deco and Hexus. Isn't that kind of the event coordinator's fault? It doesn't matter. He has claimed, stated, on record, sworn testimony, as have his witnesses, that it was unmodified hardware that it was performed on, which is wrong. Billy would know this is not the original stick. He dedicated his whole life to this game. Even if he wasn't the one that put the machine here and asked for it to be here, even though I do think he did claim that it came from that arcade guy that I've already forgotten the name of. But even if it was the event that put it there, he would know that this is illegal to perform records on. It wouldn't matter. Lady Liberty will protect him. True. Not only that, I bet there was an emulator built into the arcade box. We're setting aside all of the massive amounts of evidence talking about it being on emulator, not original hardware. We're setting all that aside and just going by what we can physically see from the photos of the event, where it is clearly modified. You don't even need to touch all of the deep analysis, which also confirm that it's illegitimate. You can just look at the photos from the event and still get the correct answer that it's fake. I'm curious to see how he decides to fight this. You know he will not admit it. So, I'll make a prediction, and right now I'm on fire with my predictions. I think the way Billy Mitchell tackles this is the exact way that any fucking geriatric person would. It's all fake Photoshop, AI, fabricated. He's going to claim that these photos are fabricated, they're AI generated or AI enhanced, something like that. The photos are fake. They've done something with the knob. This was an original knob, but they've edited it all out. He's going to harp on it being photoshopped and doctored. 100%. On fire, you thought Logan Paul was actually going to sue? Okay, fuck you. You found one thing I was a little wrong on. But I got everything else about Logan Paul's apology right. So I'd say, on the whole, more right than wrong. Thanks to resub Pargus and Banks. Is there metadata for the pick? Man, how the fuck am I supposed to know if there's metadata for the pick? This shit was done on a handheld Kodiak, I imagine, in 2003. Oh, is it 2007 or 2003? I forgot which year this one was. How the fuck am I supposed to know that? This one was 07. It's Kodak. Oh, Kodak, whatever. Kodiak, Kodak, tomato, tomato. We're saying the same thing. Is it really Kodak? What do you know? Well, thanks to resub Chase and Berg. Just tweeted an unaltered original Donkey Kong arcade you can look at for comparison. It's more than just the stick. Well, I think the stick is the main thing that matters, but here, let me see. Is it possible the button colors change on different cabinets? Because, yeah, these buttons are white where the normal ones are blue. Are they blue in the one that he pulls up too? They are blue in the one he pulls up too. I wonder if that was standard. Maybe that's an immutable thing that they always come blue. That would be yet another issue. The biggest one's still the stick. I think there might be wiggle room for the buttons, though. I don't even know why I'm giving him that benefit of the doubt. It's dead to rights regardless, but yeah, it looks like there's more than just the stick that seem fishy about the cabinet. Thanks, Risa Moon. Resub Kev. Why would the color matter? It just proves that it's not the original hardware. If the buttons are all standardized blue, the fact that they're white here would prove that the hardware has been at least changed out. So then you can no longer say that it is unmodified hardware. Thus, disqualified. What do you mean, can we finish the video? We did. What are you talking about? I'm just talking about the picture now. The trim is different. White versus black here. Can't see the trim on this photo. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing that's different. I feel like the trim probably won't matter. Well, nah, it probably all matters. It doesn't. Clearly, it is not unmodified hardware. What if it's just a retrofit? Again, it doesn't. It won't matter. You cannot play for the world record shit on unmodified hardware. He said, sworn's testimony, as did others, that he did it on unmodified hardware, which is not the truth, clearly. Like, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't change anything. It's not allowed. Be disqualified. Where does he get the money for the lawsuits? That's what I've always wondered. I do legitimately speculate one of his friends must be an attorney who writes it for him as just like a favor. Because I just can't imagine he's so financially well off from being the king of Kong with a high Donkey Kong score to afford all of the frivolous lawsuits he tosses out. He has to have some kind of like familial connection or friendly connection. Like that's the only way. The duck did it. Hey, don't besmirch the good name of the duck. Richard, god damn it, Richard's the man. Wait, where's the duck? There he is. Yeah, baby. So what if he's been arrested for fraud 3 separate times? That happens to everybody, right? Doesn't mean he's not trustworthy. Good point, Jay. I didn't think about that. True. He's a prime D. God damn, that's so good, though. That is so good. Let's do this one next. I vaguely know about this because every like commentary YouTuber ever all at once just started making videos shitting on a YouTuber named Jellybean, who's like a 16-year-old girl or something. And the views were good for them, so they made like 20 videos each. And then once the Jellybean well ran dry, they started targeting people who reminded them of Jellybean for more views. It was pretty sad.
Why is Jellybean so hated? That's a question you might ask yourself after stumbling upon hate video after hate video after hate video, each of which explaining in their own words why they dislike this 17-year-old anonymous Minecraft YouTuber. What makes the question even more interesting is that only 6 months ago, Jellybean was a complete nobody, gaining less than 1,000 views per day, which is a number almost incomparable beside the 40 to 120 million views she now receives monthly.
God
Has
damn.
that come about as a simple result of becoming so successful in such a short period of time? Or is it more likely associated with the numerous controversies that she's been involved in during her short time in the sun? We're going to examine the fast but intense career of Jellybean up until 2 weeks ago when she'd post a hate video on herself, so you can come to your own conclusion about whether or not the title of YouTube's most hated creator is justified or deserved. The first reason as to why she might warrant this title can be identified when looking at the third video ever posted to her channel back in October 2021.
She just makes
titled
like
Minecraft, but
videos for
comments.
kids.
See if you can figure out
It's
what
just
the
not
reason
that
might
deep.
be without any context.
Balls. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. That's funny. Just like. Hi, Mom. Can we get McDonald's? You better sit down and go watch Coco Melon right now. I farted.
Viewers quickly
Only know
came to the
Jellybean through
conclusion that
TikTok? Well,
Jellybean's
yeah,
videos
it's
were obnoxious,
content for
annoying,
kids.
over the top, immature, and clearly targeted towards children.
And the content itself is pretty much this chick sounding like she's off who knows how much drugs, with literally blaringly loud video game OST music in the background.
Another influencer that has this thought of loud equals funny.
There is no entertainment value whatsoever. It's intentionally like mega overstimulating
Thanks
with
the
like the
bits,
text
Richard.
and the movement character and the parkour in the background.
On a subreddit dedicated to hating Jellybean, fittingly titled r/Jellybean sucks, individuals would back this message up in memes reading, POV, you're about to watch Jellybean, headphones volume 1. Brace yourselves guys, loudest sounds on
Give
earth,
some
concert
sit.
speakers, fireworks, gunfire, blue whale, space shuttle, Jellybean. However, Jellybean's voice and general video delivery weren't the only things feeding into this narrative that she was an incredibly annoying YouTuber. In late November 2021, Jellybean would upload a video titled Minecraft But We Cause Some
Makes the
Chaos,
prime
in which she
margin.
requested that all of her audio audience Photoshop her Minecraft face over the top of their current YouTube profile pictures.
I think it would be really funny if we just slapped my Minecraft face on everyone's profile pictures and confused so many people.
After this proved to be successful, she'd push her luck a little further by
Larissa
requesting that everyone
PNG.
post her Minecraft face to their profile picture on every
The people that
platform.
give attention
So
to the
I
problem.
think we should move on from
There's really no problem. It is a kid making videos for kids. Like, yeah, it's, you know, pretty cringy for most people, and you can make jokes about it whenever. I think the reason why it became a thing is because every, like, commentary YouTuber made 10 plus videos all about her. Every time she would breathe, they'd make a new video. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, who's a big one that did it? I try and keep up with everything in
Why
the
is Jelly
commentary
Beans-
community, so I see all of it. I think it was a Cheeto. I think or was it Dumpy? I think Dumpy made like 9 or 10 in 2 weeks. Yeah, the Jelly Bean clones, Jelly Bean furry, Jelly Bean everywhere. Meowbo was the next Jelly Bean, Jelly Bean, Jelly Bean. It's just everything Jelly Bean. Every commentary YouTuber for like a full month was just nothing but Jelly Bean, Jelly Bean, Jelly Bean as much as possible for views. But it's just an actual kid making kids content. And it was pretty much all of them. Like, you know, let's see how many a Cheeto made.
POV.
Still making it. Jelly Bean. Jelly Bean. Meowba. Jelly Bean clone. Jelly Bean. Jelly Bean. Jelly Bean. Jesus. Jelly Bean. Jelly Bean. Jelly Bean. Jelly Bean. Jelly Bean. Jelly Bean. So, that's probably why Sunny's making the video, since it was quite literally everywhere. It was just like a little cheat code for some views, so they did as much as possible. When it really is just as simple as this kid's making some cringy shit for kids. It's not that deep.
from YouTube and go to other platforms. I want you guys to change your profile pictures everywhere, not just YouTube.
While this move seemed to annoy some people, with Twitter posts such as, "Why do you think people are in the Jelly Bean profile picture gang? Because they have no life, no friends, no bitches, no
Thanks for some
outdoors." People
Axel
changing their
and Tier
profile
1
picture
Jacobian,
wasn't really all
recent
that
vintage
invasive and was
Al.
hardly worth getting worked up about.
Triad.
However, it would serve as a basis for her next publicity stunt, which was substantially more annoying and would go on to ultimately make her even more hated. This next stunt began on the 7th of January 2022 after Jelly Bean would upload a video titled "Minecraft But We Set a World Record," in which she expressed her desire to break the record for the highest number of comments on a YouTube short.
What if we hit a world record for the most comments on a YouTube short? I know it sounds crazy, but I think it's possible. If everybody watching this video typed "it's not a mistake, it's a masterpiece" 10 times, I think we could hit that record.
Subsequently,
Please,
her
you
comment
homie.
section began to fill with the instructed comment, "It's not a mistake, it's a masterpiece," with Jelly Bean taking to her community tab, instructing that the message shouldn't be spammed anywhere besides her specific YouTube short video. Hey, I just want to state, do not go to other streamers / YouTubers and flood them with "it's not a masterpiece,
She's 22,
it's a mistake."
by the way,
I'm okay
according
with you
to
guys
what?
spamming my YouTube comments.
Isn't she
but
17,
nowhere else.
like the video
Thank
reported?
you / serious. However,
Gives you some grim.
obviously the audience was going to do the exact opposite of whatever Jelly Bean instructed,
There's
and
some
as a
PJ.
result, her audience began to spam it everywhere, forcing the Jelly Bean agenda upon each harmonious YouTube comment section.
A few months ago, I got comments on my
Yeah, I
video
know they
saying
doxed her.
it's not a mistake, it's a masterpiece, and I was very confused.
You definitely
Yeah, it was more than just like all the commentary YouTubers making 1,000 videos on it. It wasn't the commentary community, but like the community itself got really angry about her making videos that were cringy, because cringe is like the ultimate sin. So they got really mad that they were experiencing cringe from her, so they doxed her and started like threatening her and her family through Facebook and shit. So I don't know why people keep saying she's 22. According to everything that they all just started spamming everywhere with her leaks from the docs, she's 17. So I don't know, and even if she was 22, it wouldn't matter. It's still not like an excuse or anything. It's just this one fucking guy who just keeps spamming, "She's 22, you idiot." Prove it. Like, I don't understand. What do you, like, even if that was the case, it still wouldn't matter. It still wouldn't change anything. The people that doxed her harassed her for a long time and publicly posted all of her shit all over the place.
record, but your fan base went to every comment section.
The Jellybean fans who refused to join the "It's not a mistake, it's a masterpiece" cult were then apparently sent death threats, as Jellybean would have to take to her community tab once again in another post reading, "I didn't think I had to state this, but don't send death threats to people who don't like 'It's not a mistake, it's a masterpiece." As the hate continued to mount against Jellybean for the annoying comment campaign, those who didn't know what was going on would take to the Out of the Loop subreddit in a post attempting to figure out why Jellybean was becoming so hated. One user would comment, "Answer, people just find her annoying," receiving a response reading, "People annoyed by someone that they can easily avoid blows my mind." This is a very good point. Sure, the comments were annoying, but why were people going out of their way to hate on Jellybean when, as highlighted in another Reddit comment, she's doing the same annoying shit that YouTubers like Ranboo and George Not Found would do, but she's the one who gets a massive hate campaign. Now this comment isn't completely accurate because Ranboo and George Not Found are fairly different from Jellybean. They all play Minecraft, sure, but Jellybean has a fairly unique style, besides using a similar disguise in a subscriber milestone special, which had clearly been copied from Ranboo.
Ranboo baked a cake for 1 mil, she's making cookies for 400k, he wears sunglasses and a mask, she's wearing sunglasses and a mask.
However, regardless of whether or not they were similar, these comments still highlighted that some portion of her audience believed that she'd taken some or most of her persona from these other Minecraft YouTubers, providing her with a reputation as a copycat. For example, going back to the subreddit titled Jellybean Sucks, one user would state that she got her whole personality from the Dream SMP.
She started her channel basically copying Dream. Like, she even used his speedrun music, and it wasn't even used in an ironic sense. Nah, she was just trying to replicate that sweet Minecraft success.
Oh my god, I'm like Dream.
Even going so far as to name...
I like a lot of the people in the commentary community. I think there's a lot of really good ones out there. But that criticism as a commentary YouTuber is the most hypocritical shit ever. The majority of the commentary YouTubers are all Leafy clones, if you want to get like in the weeds of it. They all either just surf in CSGO, just blatantly surf in CSGO while providing commentary on Nothing Burgers, or play some other game in the background while providing commentary on Nothing Burgers. So to say that she's copying someone and that makes her a bad person is absolutely worthless coming from a commentary YouTuber doing the same thing. Or yeah, like Cluster Truck's another one that I see a lot of them play. This was just such a non-issue that went on for like a month and a half just for some easy view farm. And it would have been fine if it was like interesting, I guess, but it was so unwarranted and uninteresting. Shit sucked.
Handle be not here, alongside a YouTube community post stating that this was her face reveal, with a similarity being highlighted further in some of the many hate videos made on Jellybean.
Instead of actually having an own persona, she completely mimics Dream.
She's the definition of "I try so hard to get in the Dream SMP." Now, make no mistake, there were some huge advantages to being associated with these other Minecraft creators. Each of them already have a massive audience, which could easily flow through to Jellybean if the public sees her as being similar. The problem is the Minecraft community on YouTube are a pretty easy target for hatred and aren't always seen with a squeaky clean reputation, which will also flow through to Jellybean if she's being associated with them. You've got posts such as this one reading, "This new wave of Minecraft YouTubers are just annoying and it isn't entertaining. I love watching Minecraft videos, but I absolutely cannot stand Dream and his friends. There's a couple of them who I find funny, but the whole thing is just unbelievably cringeworthy. There's certain things that should be roleplayed on, and Minecraft just isn't one of them. If Jellybean gets associated with the current Minecraft crowd on YouTube, people are by default going to apply the same hatred to her. However, this still fails to explain why Jellybean clearly receives more hatred than any of these other Minecraft YouTubers. So let's explore another theory. Maybe Jellybean isn't as hated as it seems,
it's just
and hating
so
her has
easy.
simply become a trend in the commentary community.
It's so easy to explain because the views are there. That's 100% why. What was it, 117 million views a month from a brand new YouTuber, basically? So by talking about her, you get easy views. Like, if you go to any of the commentary channels' videos and look at their most popular ones over the last year or so, it's all Jellybean. So obviously they're going to keep dogpiling on her. It had nothing to do with her doing something different or doing something more egregious or insulting or more annoying than others. It's just easier views. That's it. It's just not that deep.
Explain. On the 7th of February 2022...
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's good to see you in Civic. Thank you for the 100 gift subs, man. You excited for Moist Esports Rocket League this upcoming weekend? Well, I guess not this weekend, considering it's Friday. Next weekend. Fuck yeah, man. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate the generosity.
Loco would be the first YouTuber to post a video discussing why they
Goddamn.
dislike Jelly
Thank you,
Bean.
man.
So
Makes
Loco
it
had
tier
less
one
than
grim.
1,000 subscribers at the time, yet his video would go on to gain close to 200,000 views despite being only 2 minutes long. A week later, the Beak would post his video titled Why I Don't Like Jelly Bean, which once again gained over 1 million views despite him also having less than 50,000 subscribers. It would be at this point that the commentary community witnessed the effectiveness of creating hate videos on Jelly Bean, spawning even more hate videos all titled in a similar way, each of which parroting a similar opinion to that which was shared in the first 2 successful hate videos.
If you ask me how I got this video idea, I came up with it. Yeah, I didn't steal it from anyone. No, not at all, not at all.
As a result of this, you'll find countless Jelly Bean hate videos on YouTube, yet in reality, most of these commentary YouTubers probably have nothing against Jelly Bean and are simply jumping on the trend for views. Commentary YouTuber Jaden would talk to one of these channels, which had created a Why I Hate Jelly Bean video, who stated, "Just wanted to let you know, saw your video on Jelly Bean, and I saw you included my video, which is pretty cash money, but there's no Jelly Bean drama. Me and Beak just wanted some 2016 videos. We don't not like her. There is no drama."
One of these commentators ended up reaching out to me and saying that they were basically just trying to bring back the old 2016 style of commentary, and that they didn't actually hate Jelly Bean.
The commentary community might have hated Jelly Bean, or they might have simply been putting it on for views. Regardless, it will be during this wave of commentary community hate that Jelly Bean will make yet another mistake, leading to her becoming even more hated. She began to respond to the criticism.
Jelly Bean ended up responding to me, man. Jelly Bean herself.
Now, she didn't respond to any of these videos directly, which was a smart move. But she'd rather post a tweet reading, "Can't have the haters holding me back. It's pop-off season, woo," which is unfortunately the kind of comment that can act as fuel for these channels to continue hating her, or even worse, doxing her, which is what would happen next.
People have taken this thing to a whole nother level. They're actually doxing Jelly Bean and leaking her private information just because she makes cringe Minecraft videos. Yeah, Jelly Bean's IRL, the person behind, it's not a mistake, it's a masterpiece. And then they leak a picture of her face and say, Jelly Bean, more like Jelly Bozo.
As Jelly Bean's face began to get shared across the internet, videos were posted to the platform by some pretty unhinged YouTubers stating that she deserved it.
Jelly Bean actually got doxxed, and I'm going to be talking about it in this video, and why she deserved it, so make sure to like the video and comment.
However, this still wasn't the worst thing that would happen to her as a result of the hate.
Yeah, shit got fucking wild.
Jelly Bean, someone from TikTok would create a fake screenshot of her saying the N-word on Discord, forcing her to address it in a public Twitter post reading, "I'm here to address these screenshots that have been going around Twitter, TikTok, and probably other social medias. Recently, there have been fake screenshots of me saying slurs, and it's honestly disgusting. These screenshots are obviously fake, from the profile picture to the wrong pronunciation of my name in the screenshot. These people who are spreading these screenshots only have the screenshot. They have no weight behind these accusations, and they have been very harmful to me and my mental health. I'm called racist over something I didn't do. I don't care how much you don't like someone, you shouldn't make fake screenshots of them saying slurs. It's hurtful and childish for whoever made them. I've decided to step away from Twitter for a couple of days/weeks. I'm tired of getting accused of something I didn't do," which will be supported by even the commentary community, which had created the conditions for this hate in the first place.
Jelly Bean is a cringe YouTuber, there is no doubt about that. But just because you find Jelly Bean to be cringe, you don't need to put out false allegations about them.
While these kind of events have been, quote, very harmful to her mental health, they haven't actually been all that harmful to the growth of her YouTube channel. On the 1st of May 2022, Jelly Bean will make a tweet reading, "I'm curious, how did you find out about me? What were your first impressions of me?" in which many of the comments reference that they had discovered and become a fan of Jelly Bean after watching the commentary videos hating her. So while Jelly Bean may hold the title of YouTube's most hated creator, the negative connotation might have come with an equal amount of positivity.
That was a good summation of most of it. Glosses over a lot of it, but overall a good nutshell. You see the Murdaugh murders. So my dad just told me about that. I didn't know anything about it. So this guy, Alex Murdaugh, was apparently like a really wealthy, like, what is it, a criminal defense attorney or something? And he was apparently embezzling money for a long time, a pathological liar, an oxy addict, and he snapped and killed his son and wife. I believe. I think it was his son and his wife. My dad was telling me all about it, apparently. Or, not apparently, my dad was telling me all about it. Apparently, it was a wild case, and I didn't hear shit about it. Yeah, apparently the prosecutors had a video that the son had recorded that proved that Alex Murdaugh was lying about his whereabouts on the night of the murders. So I guess the story was they were killed at like the dog kennels on their property. Alex Murdaugh claimed that he wasn't there that night at the kennels, and he had like a couple alibis because they had his whole phone record. Apparently he called a ton of people to try and get a couple alibis. And eventually the prosecutors showed a video that his son had recorded literally minutes before he was murdered by his dad. And I guess it took so long to surface. This had gone on for like 2 years or something. It took so long to surface because they couldn't get into the son's phone until recently, is what my dad said. Fucking crazy situation. And I didn't hear anything about it during this whole thing. Thanks for your sub. Funzy, Shun, Komodo, Alter Gashiki, Sammy, Spencer, Godgrid in the Prime, Aiden, and Rub. His son he killed also got in a boat accident that killed a girl named Mallory Beach, and also was the only witness to his housekeeper dying, and he embezzled her life insurance. Oh, what the fuck? Holy shit, how deep does that go? I think it's a tier 1 Nimbus. Huh. Wow. He survived a gunshot that he survived a gunshot that he hired to kill him, but it didn't work out. I don't even know what that means. Thanks for resub disclosing in Commander in the Prime RPG and the bits perk and the resub all black aura. He hired a hitman on himself. What in tarnation? Even the big 10 gift sub, Shadow, I really appreciate it. Hope you had a good day. Thanks for resub, Stephanie. Oh yeah, I already saw that one, Kopi. He hired the hitman to kill him so he could his son could collect his life insurance. What?
What family members did you call?
I called my brother Randy, and I called my brother John, and I tried to call a little boy, real good friend that's right around the corner from here, but I didn't get him. Okay.
Well then. What Netflix's Murdaugh Murders documentary didn't tell you about the story. What? They already have a documentary about it? Well, actually, I probably can't watch this if they show actual crime scene shit. Thanks to the bits, Gasm and Adonis. Legal Eagle's video on it is really comprehensive. There's so much to the story, and there is another murder related to his son. Oh, this is 6 days ago. Alex Murdaugh shouldn't have testified. Well, yeah, didn't he get 2 life sentences for all of this? I don't think it would have mattered if he testified or not, right? They would have still had that video. Yeah. Life sentence without parole for murdering his wife and son. Opinion on the mothership coming to Earth. Don't know what you're referring to, but it sounds hype. It did matter. Because the jury said it made it a lot worse. But wouldn't that video would have surfaced? So they still would have caught him, right? There's usually golden waffle comic in the prime conjunctivitis. But I just learned about this thing tonight from my dad giving me the Cliff Notes. So maybe his testimony really did matter a lot in catching him. I think he's a tier 1 plain pedestrian. Oh, the video was the reason he testified. Ah. Okay, that's interesting. Let me just get like
convicted
the
after he
gist.
testified in his own defense. Yeah, the Fifth Amendment exists for a very good reason, and District Attorney Scowell will explain why.
As the trial drew to a close, Los Angeles area double murder expert O.J. Simpson predicted that the Alec Murdaugh jury would acquit the Low Country lawyer of double murder. It turns out that Simpson's powers of prognostication don't really work for murders he wasn't directly involved in.
It wouldn't surprise me in the least if this guy beats this case.
The Juice was wise enough not to testify in his own criminal trial, whereas Murdaugh thought that testifying in his own defense might lead to an acquittal. It's easy to see how he made that mistake. Murdaugh men have been amongst the most prominent lawyers in Hampton County, South Carolina for nearly 100 years. So before I explain...
It's crazy. It is crazy. We have O.J. Simpson on Twitter dropping reaction videos, giving his opinion on how another murderer could potentially beat their case. That blows my mind. Thanks, the resub. Tynanic and Chris.
Why the Murdaugh Hail Mary play didn't work? Let's dig into the background of this disturbing case because it is truly bonkers. Lawyers from the Murdaugh family held the solicitor position in South Carolina's 14th Judicial Circuit for 87 years.
That's
South
a good
Carolina,
run. That's
a
a good run.
solicitor is an elected official who serves as the chief prosecutor for a judicial district. A judicial district usually covers multiple counties. It's basically a district attorney, but with a seersucker suit and a southern drawl. Randolph Murdaugh Sr. was elected solicitor in 1920 and served until he was killed by a freight train in 1940.
Sounds like a murder. That sounds like an actual old western murder where they tied him to the train tracks. Don't know the situation. It literally just sounds like he was murdered.
Now, some people suspected that the freight train incident was a suicide because no one could figure out why Randolph's car stalled on the tracks, but Murdaugh Sr. was succeeded by his son, Randolph Murdaugh Jr., known as Buster, who held the position for 46 years
Cool
from
nickname.
1940 to 1986. During Buster's long tenure, the Murdaugh family's private law firm flourished in the small town of Hampton, population 2,000, because of a unique South Carolina law that allowed people to file lawsuits against the railroad in any county in the state. The Murdaugh firm is referred to as the house that CSX built because they won so much money suing the railroads. Buster was known as a
Good.
win-at-all-costs
Just what we needed.
prosecutor. The South Carolina Supreme Court reprimanded Buster several times for improper jury arguments during death penalty cases. On 2 separate occasions, 20 years apart, he told jurors that if they didn't impose the death penalty on a criminal defendant, he would use his power as solicitor to release other rapists into the community. Yes, you heard that right.
What?
It's hard to imagine a worse thing a prosecutor could say in court, but I'm sure prosecutors have.
And he got to keep the position? He would make these threats like, okay, if he doesn't get the death penalty, 5 rapists will go into Gotham. He sounds like the Joker. What? How do you not, like, lose that job after the first threat? Thanks to the resub. Saturn, Abigail, Drin, Roxas in the tier 1 712 and the Prime Forg. And the Bits Adonis. That was his dad in the 70s. Well, I know we're talking about his dad. I'm saying, how did he not lose that position? Like, immediately. Elected official, so he just campaigns and pays off the right people. Yeah, but I'm sure there's still systems in place where if you're threatening to release rapists out of, like, a grudge, you can get fired. Like, you can get, like, taken out. Like, you lose your position, I would think. Because it was the 70s. It's not like rape was cool in the 70s either. I'm sure people weren't, like rallying behind him like, yeah, that's fucking Buster right there. That's how Buster plays. Give the death penalty. Or 50 rapists. Buster, release 50 rapists into the neighborhood. He's a tier 1 Momo. Easy to cover up shit back then. True, yeah, maybe they didn't really know exactly what was happening at the time. Maybe, yeah, that's a good point. I guess it's hard to know exactly what information was out there from these threats.
It's fair to assume that the citizens of the 14th Judicial Circuit just might be intimidated by a man who threatened to turn rapists loose as revenge. When Buster was done,
fair assumption.
Buster's son, Randolph Murdaugh III, was elected solicitor and served until 2005. Now we've come full circle. Alex Murdaugh, the now convicted murderer, is Randolph III's son. Alex Murdaugh worked in the family law firm and also volunteered as an assistant solicitor. Alex continued his work with the solicitor's office until he himself was indicted for stealing from his clients and partners in 2022.
That's what my dad was talking about.
We're gonna get there. So here's a question.
A lot of financial crimes,
Are the
apparently.
Murdaughs corrupt? Well, there are open investigations into two separate suspicious deaths that are linked to the family.
Tier 1 Slick,
in 2015, a high school student,
She.
Stephen Smith, was found dead in the middle of a Hampton County road. There were no tire marks or debris that would suggest a vehicle crash. At least one highway patrol investigator and the county coroner ruled the death a homicide, suggesting that the body was dumped on the road. A pathologist, however, concluded that Smith was likely struck by a passing vehicle's side mirror. Alex's oldest son, Buster, named for his grandfather, is mentioned dozens of times in the 2015 investigation reports.
Whoa.
Rumors
Wow.
swirled locally that Buster had been in a relationship with Smith. Alex and his brother Randy visited the scene and were seen going right through crime scene tape. The South Carolina State Law Enforcement Division reopened.
This is a lot. This is a lot. I'm gonna send this to my dad. I wonder if he even knew half this shit. This is crazy. So, his son, no saint. My dad's gonna love this one. He was glued to this trial, apparently. Okay. Thanks for resub Abraxas and the gift sub Birdie. And the Bits Adonis and Bud. The guy really had rapists in the queue to join the server. Oh, you're talking about Buster still, yeah. I'm just going to take a guess that the other Murdaughs didn't use the same tactic.
Opened the investigation into Smith's death after officers found new evidence during their recent investigations into Alex Murdaugh.
Stephen Smith was killed on Sandy Run Road back in July of 2015. Investigators say his death was originally listed as a result of a hit and run. But his mother has many questions about that ruling. Now the South Carolina Department of Law Enforcement tells WSAV that information from the Murdaugh investigation has led them to reopen Smith's case. They would not say what evidence led to that decision or whether the Murdaugh family was involved in any way.
The second investigation. In 2018, Alex...
very uneducated here. I'm learning as we go. I'm just gonna say his son probably did it. Like, yep. I'll just let it rip. I think his son's probably guilty. That is very suspicious shit over there.
Alex's housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield, allegedly tripped over Alex's dogs and fell down the steps of the Murdaugh family's hunting lodge. Alex was the only witness.
The fuck?
After she died from her injuries, Alex told Satterfield's sons to sue him for insurance money. Murdaugh referred the sons to his college roommate, lawyer Corey Fleming. Murdaugh and Fleming collaborated on the insurance settlement, but never told the brothers that they had in fact collected on 2 settlements, one for more than $500,000 and another for $3.8 million. Murdaugh.
This is crazy, huh?
Do you hear how mad she was at me?
No, I didn't hear her.
I brushed her tail. Look at how much hair on her tail.
Yeah, she's shedding, I guess.
It's just her tail. It's
Nice.
all soft, but it's very soft.
Yeah, it looks soft. She's very soft.
Yeah, she is. What are you watching?
Just about a murderer and his awful family.
You want to feel the soft hair?
Mm-mm.
Why? Because it came from her tail?
Yeah, her tail. And her ass is always covered in a little poop.
Why do you have a shirt here?
Oh, from yesterday.
That doesn't answer the question.
Because I took it off. Hey, Tetra. Yeah, I always got poop on her ass, usually because of her ass condition. So I imagine her tail hair has little poop particles on it. I don't want to touch that.
Knew that one of the brothers, Brian, was mentally impaired and living on an annual salary of $14,000. Yet he watched as a bank foreclosed on Brian's trailer, knowing that a check from Lloyd's of London had already been deposited into Alex's own bank account. Murdaugh later admitted to stealing over $4 million from the Satterfields. When a reporter uncovered the Satterfield settlement, investigators started looking for other irregularities. They found that Murdaugh was ripping clients off left and right. Alex Murdaugh's empire of lies started to unravel in 2019. Alex and his wife Maggie had 2 sons, Paul and Buster. On the night of February 23rd, 2019, Paul Murdaugh and his 5 friends spent the night partying on Paul's boat. All 6 of them were underage. Paul's friends called him Timmy when he was drunk because he seemed to have a vicious alter ego when he was wasted. Witnesses say that Paul drove the boat for most of the...
Why would they... Like a Jekyll and Hyde thing? Why Timmy, though? Thanks to resub Odd Reality in the Prime. Confurious and Cozy. Because he was crazy drunk. Gotcha. I think the Murdaugh lineage is bad news so far. This is crazy. When my dad gave me like the breakdown of the trial, he mentioned nothing about his family, but there's so much goofy shit in the trial itself that I was still captivated. Apparently, during the trial, there was a part where someone started like pointing a gun around when like reenacting what happened, which was weird. And also that a dog was used for evidence because there was blood on its paw. And one of the jurors got tossed out because they were like disclosing information about the case, which you can't do, obviously. And as revenge, one of the juror claimed that they left an entire batch of eggs in the jury or in the courthouse or something to stink it up. Like, it was wild, the shit I was hearing. And he didn't even mention any of the family stuff, so I don't even think he knows. He's a tier 1. Dr. Ender in tier 1. Crazy Squirrel in the Prime. Noddle. And there's a Bubble Bowl, Backwood, and Give Sub Ant. The gun was the defense pointing it and saying, tempting. Feels like a weird strategy, I gotta tell you. I mean, I didn't pass the bar, but I'm gonna venture a guess that they probably tell you that's a bit of a no-no tactic. Is it tier 1? Pubo.
The night, except for a few minutes when Connor Cook had to take over because Paul was arguing with his girlfriend Megan Dowdy. Paul's friends say he assaulted Megan. The boat later crashed into a piling and they were all thrown from the boat. Everyone survived except for one, Mallory Beach, who was found dead a week later. After the crash,
Holy
Alex
shit.
visited Connor Cook in the hospital. Alex tried to convince Connor that Connor had been driving the boat, not Paul. Randolph Murdaugh III, the former solicitor, arrived at the hospital and stopped police from questioning his grandson. Alex and his wife Maggie traipsed through the crime scene. Eventually, Paul was charged with 2 counts of boating under the influence with great bodily injury and 1 count of boating under the influence causing death. Paul Murdaugh pleaded not guilty and hired a state senator who served on the Judiciary
Maybe
Committee
the Big Ten
to
gift
prepare
subs,
his
Rod.
defense.
Appreciate it. Thank
But
you,
Paul
Rod.
never stood trial because he was murdered alongside his mother on June 7th, 2020.
What in the
June
fuck
7th
is
was the date
happening?
when many things in Alex Murdaugh's life came to a head. Jeannie Seckinger,
Oh, wait,
chief
no, that-
financial officer at Murdaugh's law firm, confronted him about money that she believed he had stolen from the firm. During the conversation, Alex received a phone call that his father's health had taken a turn for the worse and that he was dying in a Savannah hospital. Seckinger stopped her questions so he could go deal with his father.
Okay, hold on. That's his... Okay. All the names started confusing me. That's his wife. Okay, now we've got to the wife and son murder. I thought this was a totally different son and mother murder. This is his wife and son murder part. Okay. All of the names started to throw me for a fucking loop. There is so much, like, death from, like, his own, like, family committing crimes now. Shit. There is so much to keep up with. No, this is a different murder. No. Maggie, 100% was Alex Murdaugh's wife, and Paul was his son, the one that he murdered. No, this is absolutely the wife and son murder part. This is a prime Jacob, Amakaliko, and the resub Few and give sub Bruce Wayne.
But a short time later, she realized Alex remained in the office.
That check never even came through our books. He stole it, endorsed it, and put it in his Bank of America account, and we found a copy of it on his desk.
He asked her about his 401k balances, which he was worried about producing in the Beach family's wrongful death lawsuit. A hearing was scheduled in that lawsuit that could have compelled discovery of Alex's assets. The Beach family's lawyer said he planned to sue Alex and Maggie personally because they allegedly kept a beer refrigerator at the hunting lodge and underage kids were free to drink up. Given the scale of Alex's financial crimes, discovery of his assets would have revealed years of Murdaugh's criminality. Later that same night, Alex allegedly found Paul and Maggie dead outside the kennels at the Murdaugh's sprawling hunting estate. Alex called 911 shortly after 10 o'clock p.m. He told police that he had just returned home after spending most of the evening out. Police concluded that Paul had been shot at close range twice with a shotgun, and Maggie had been shot with a semi-automatic rifle. The murder weapons have never been recovered. A firearms expert said casings found near Maggie's body were from a rifle round called .300 Blackout. After the murders, Alex told his law partners that he screwed up and would pay back some of the money he had stolen. But by September 3rd, the firm had found more financial irregularities. Later that same day, the partners
I'm getting a
Alex
very
and
clear understanding of exactly
the
what's
partners,
gone on now.
including Alex's brother Randy, agreed to wait until September 6th to announce the resignation. But the next day, on September 4th, Alex's friend Chris Wilson confronted him as well. See, Alex owed Wilson $200,000 after lying to him about a legal settlement. So Alex admitted to stealing from Chris and blamed his behavior on an opioid addiction. And then hours later, that same day after that conversation with Chris, Alex was shot in the head. Yes. Seriously. Does this seem like a far-fetched Netflix series yet?
So, now we're at the part that I know. Everything that preceded this, fucking wild. no clue. But now we're getting into the part that my dad was talking about, and now I'm kind of in the know on where all this goes. Chat just educated me about this, so I have the spoilers here. But I guess I won't drop the spoilers. But I see now what has happened and how things have got to this point.
On September 4th, Alex Murdaugh called 911 and reported that while he was pulled over on the side of a road with a flat tire, someone had shot him.
I got a flat tire, and I stopped, and somebody stopped to help me. And when I turned my back,
Twad, Link, and the Prime Roof, and Mitsuo,
oh,
and Mo.
okay. Were you shot? Yes, but I mean, I'm okay.
Alex later admitted that he hired his cousin Eddie to shoot him.
Yep.
So Alex's remaining son Buster could
get the
collect
life
on a
insurance.
$10 million life insurance policy. But apparently cousin Eddie wasn't up to the job because the gunshot
Good picture,
wound was just
National
a glaze
Lampoon.
that temporarily blinded Alex. Eddie would also turn out to be Alex's
the fuck?
oxycodone dealer. Alex later admitted that he stole from his law partners and clients to fund his addiction to painkillers. According to
Hold on, then my dad's calling me about the Murdaugh shit that I just sent him with this. Hold on. Hey. Yeah, well, did you even know about all of the Murdaugh shit with his family? Like how his son is most likely responsible for deaths as well? Yes. You yeah, the boat. Yeah. Yeah, I just got to that point. Cousin Eddie to like a hitman to shoot him for the life insurance policy for Buster. Okay, I didn't know if you knew any of that because you didn't mention it. That shit's crazy. Yeah, no, this is absolutely wild. I had no idea it was like so deep reaching. Well, cool is like probably a weird word to use for it, but like it's fascinating. Like it feels like it's some kind of crazy movie. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, his whole family dating back to the 40s was a piece of shit. Yeah. That's what the video is talking about. How against like better judgment or better advice, he still testified, which fucked him. Yeah. Well, yeah, when his whole family made money suing the railroads and shit, so yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I had no idea it was this wild, but yeah, it's crazy. Well, I don't know. I'm just kind of learning about it right now from Legal Eagle, who did a really good breakdown. If you need like a recap, that's why I sent it to you. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't care about the Bucks. It's not. I don't care. I don't care about Baker Mayfield. I'm gonna go back to watching Alex Murdaugh testifying and shit. Yeah, I don't care about the Bucks and Baker Mayfield or whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's well. He's got him put in the video, so I've seen a couple of the clips. Yep. Yeah, basketball was good. Just the same crew as always, really. All right. Yeah, all the same guys. All right. Yeah, he did. So I'm streaming right now, so I'll call you back later and we can talk more about Murdaugh. Okay. I'll let him know. All right. Love you. Bye. Yeah, he's really into the whole Murdaugh shit. He got like encyclopedic knowledge on this whole thing, apparently. He didn't even mention the family stuff, so I thought that'd be news to him. Thanks to the Prime, not Technoblade and the Resub Weeds, Oddball, Waterboy, Iverson, and the Bits Universal. And the Prime Lynn. Yeah, no, this whole family's rotten. Although I haven't heard anything about the mother, so maybe she didn't do anything terrible. I have no idea. But we're only 10 minutes in. There's still plenty of room.
Alex, on some days, he was taking up to 60 oxycodone pills. So
which is
here's
crazy.
The house of cards the prosecutors were trying to knock down. A very influential family headed by a man with an insatiable appetite for pills. The double murder of Maggie and Paul, who were mowed down on Murdaugh family property, the suicide for hire insurance fraud scheme, and, oh yeah, how could we forget, 99 additional charges by the state attorney general for embezzlement, money laundering, and tax fraud. First was the trial for the murders of Paul and Maggie. The trial was fittingly in South Carolina's 14th Judicial Circuit, the very same circuit for which his family had supplied 3 generations of solicitors. The prosecution really wanted to use the suicide for hire plot to demonstrate that Alex had a propensity for violent schemes.
Real quick though, was his plan actually to die? Like, did Alex Murdaugh hire cousin Eddie, goofball McGee, red-blooded patriot fucking wild maniac to come shoot him and kill him? That's wild. So his plan was actually to die. He said, come shoot me in the head. And then he survived. He's like, damn it. Time to change plan. Wow. Hey, a lot of things can be said about Alex Murdaugh, but God damn it, he gave it 110%. This man was ready to literally kill himself so that way his son could still have some fucking cheated funds. $10 million life insurance policy. He's out there giving it his all.
As the prosecutor said, when the hounds are at the door, when Hannibal is at the gates for Alex Murdaugh, violence happens. The judge initially ruled that this incident was off limits for the criminal trial. However, during the trial, the defense asked a witness about whether it was possible that drug gangs killed Paul and Maggie. The judge then reversed himself, ruling that the questions opened the door to prosecutors introducing evidence about Alex and cousin Eddie, since Alex was admittedly associated with a drug dealer. The trial's biggest bombshell was an unsent Snapchat video.
Yes, this is the one that my dad was talking about.
Alex told police he had last seen his son and wife 90 minutes before he found their bodies. He said Maggie and Paul were down at the kennels checking on the dogs. So he took a nap, watched TV, then called and left Maggie a message saying he was going to go check on his mother. Alex visited his mother and then arrived at the kennels around 10, where he found them dead. He repeatedly denied being at the kennels before he found the bodies. As it turns out, Paul filmed a Snapchat video just minutes before he was killed, showing a Labrador Retriever wagging its tail. He apparently intended to send the video to his friend Rogan Gibson, whose chocolate lab was staying at the Murdaugh kennels. Several witnesses testified that they could hear Alex's voice in the background of the video. Did the Snapchat video influence Alex's decision to testify on his own behalf? Almost certainly yes. The very first
yeah, and I think that is very clearly his voice in the Snapchat video. Very clearly. Thanks for you said, Pierre.
thing Alex did on the witness stand was fess up that he lied about being at the kennels. Alex admitted it was his voice on the video.
Were you in fact at the kennels at 8:44 p.m. on the night Maggie and Paul were murdered?
I was.
Did you?
So then he absolutely just admits to a lie right there. I do want to point out, this man's got some wild hair coloration here. This looks like a weird slider in a Dark Souls creator. He looks like a French fry with like some cheese sauce on the top. That shit is going hard.
You lied to Sled Agent Owen and Deputy Laura Rutland on the night of June 7th.
I did lie to them, and I'm so sorry that I did.
Other than lying to them about going to the kennel, I was very
Holy
cooperative
shit.
in every aspect of this investigation. Very cooperative, except for maybe the most important fact of all, that you were at the murder scene with the victims just minutes before they died, Prosecutor Waters said. Uh-oh. This admission was just the tip of the iceberg that Alex was about to hit. In every criminal trial, the defendant has a constitutional right to testify or to remain silent. The right to remain silent during a criminal trial means that the jury is legally prohibited from taking a defendant's choice not to testify into account when deciding his or her guilt. The prosecution can't refer to the defendant's decision not to testify as an indicator of guilt. Testifying allows the defendant to tell his own story, but he doesn't get to do it unmediated. When a defendant chooses to testify, the prosecutor gets to cross-examine that defendant. It is rarely a comfortable experience for the defendant, and prosecutors love it. A defendant's testimony...
Yeah, that seems like a fucking... I didn't even know that's how that worked. That seems like a fucking terrible idea ever to testify. What, like, if you could just say nothing and it can't be used against you, why would you ever testify? Unless you're, like, already losing and you think that your testimony could somehow save it. Unless you're actually innocent. But even in that case, though, like, there's a very famous video called Don't Talk to Cops, and it gives reasoning why, even no matter what, even though you've done nothing, if you're squeaky clean, you should never talk to officers. And the reasoning basically boils down to, the second you do, even when totally innocent, you can be worked, and it can fuck you in the long run. So the optimal play is always, just stay silent. No matter what. Thanks to resub Profit, Football, Prime, Wizard, Audits, Turquoise, the gift sub Croak, and the Prime Dalek. That is interesting. I didn't realize that's how that worked. It seems like doing it, like testifying is always going to be rough. Because... well, this guy is a lawyer, I guess, in this case, but for most people, you're not lawyers, so you should just let your team talk on your behalf, because otherwise, during cross-examination, everything can just be immediately fucked, even though you're innocent. But maybe there are cases where it works out in their favor, and I just don't know which ones those are. Who knows? I'm not an expert. I'm literally just now learning about how that functions.
It opens the door to impeachment. Impeachment is just attacking someone's credibility. Impeachment can happen in a lot of ways. For example, being biased or prior inconsistent statements and past criminal convictions. When a person doesn't have a criminal record to worry about or hasn't made any inconsistent statements, then testifying could be a safer proposition. Emphasis on the could be, because it's not easy to face cross-examination under any circumstances. Even a defendant with no skeletons in the closet can be
Yeah, he's
tripped
even
up.
talking about this
We've
right
seen
now.
some high-profile defendants decide to testify in their own defense to mixed results. Self-defense cases often lend themselves to a defendant's testimony. In those cases, there has to be some evidence that the defendant perceived imminent danger of physical injury, and sometimes
Good
it
point.
can be
Didn't
hard
think
to show
about that.
without the defendant's testimony. Kyle Rittenhouse testified that under the circumstances as he perceived them, he didn't have a choice other than to use the amount of force that he did. Rittenhouse stood up fairly well under cross-examination, and at just 18 years old, he really didn't have much in the way of a criminal history or other impeachable matters. In contrast, Elizabeth Holmes was on trial for defrauding patients, doctors, and investors by lying to them about Theranos' technology and business relationships. The subject of her trial was whether she spent years knowingly making false claims. Holmes had already given testimony under oath in civil suits and government investigations, which made testifying a dicier proposition. During her criminal trial, she blamed other people and claimed that her lies were just misunderstandings. When she said she couldn't remember the details of a certain topic, the prosecutor essentially impeached her with testimony that she had previously given to the SEC where she certainly did remember. And the jury, of course, convicted her.
Lightly, might I add. I believe she still only received 10 years. That should have been a life sentence. The shit she did should have been life. And she still got 10 years. So, testifying, I guess, to some degree still did kind of work out for her. Unfortunately. Exit Tier 1 Stank, Tier 1 Canola Oil, and the resub Hulk, Soylent, and Lost Souls, and Squilliam, and L. Yeah, she even got pregnant in order to try and push the trial further. I remember that. I've talked about that. Elizabeth Holmes is an absolute villain. Elizabeth Holmes is an evil, evil woman who got a very light sentence. Thanks, resub Dank in the Tier 1 Kaze.
So back to Alex Murdaugh. He's a lawyer with experience prosecuting and defending criminal cases, and also probably a narcissist. So it's not surprising that he thought he could handle himself on the witness stand. However, a defendant's credibility is absolutely crucial, which is why prosecutors try so hard to impeach. If the jury thinks the defendant is a liar, things go south quickly. And it seems like that's exactly what happened to Alex. Alex claimed that he told one whopper about his alibi, that he wasn't at the kennels before the murders. But other than that, he was cooperative with investigators and truthful in his testimony. But prosecutor Creighton Waters was able to show a pattern of duplicity. Quote, "The second you're confronted with facts you can't deny, you immediately come up with a new lie," he said. The prosecutor was able to call out numerous lies by Murdaugh. For example, when Murdaugh's plan to get murdered by Cousin Eddie failed, he quickly created an elaborate story. While he was recovering in the hospital, he brought in a sketch artist to create a fake picture of the non-existent stranger who allegedly shot him. When Alex's brother Randy overheard Alex trying to bribe a nurse to let him use her phone, he thought it was suspicious. And brother Randy called the police and the story began to unravel.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sled sketch artist and spent...
Man, this guy just straight up looks evil. He looks actually soulless. Those are some hollow, empty devil eyes right there. 100%. Sometimes people just look the part. Christ. Thanks to resub, Suck Thy Ball, Minor, Benjamin, and Tier 1 Bond, and the Prime Caden, and Zim. Emperor Palpatine. Yeah, I guess.
Period of time with her going forward and creating an image of the supposed assailant.
I did sit down with her. I was in the hospital and they came in, sat down with me, asked me a bunch of questions. I answered their questions, and
yes, you did. You sat there.
It came up with a composite. Yes, sir.
Sat there and answered their questions just as effortlessly and convincingly as you've been trying to do for the past 2 days. Isn't that correct?
No, sir. That's not true.
The prosecutor also showed that Alex would say whatever was necessary to help his own case. Alex told the jury that when he found the bodies, he didn't check their pulses before calling 911 because there wasn't enough time. But in an earlier statement to police, Alex claimed that when he found his family murdered, he checked their pulses and then dialed 911. The prosecutor's reconstruction of the timeline revealed that only 20 seconds passed between the time Murdaugh parked his car at the kennels and when he called 911. So as soon as Alex was confronted with this seemingly impossible timeline, he came up with a new story. The prosecutor asked Alex if he killed his wife and child. When asked if he knew who did it, Alex also said no. But in an earlier interview with investigators, Alex had actually implicated his groundskeeper. He also told the jury that someone angry about the death of Mallory Beach committed the murders. These inconsistencies undermined Alex's credibility. Then there's the mess with Alex's financial crimes. The prosecution argued that Alex's financial crimes couldn't be separated from the murders because exposure of his vast financial crimes was one of the motives
speaks to his
for killing
characters.
Maggie and Paul.
Well, not only that, I imagine that also helps to demonstrate, make a character profile, right? I don't know if that is actually something that's usable in court, but doesn't that also serve to poke holes in the credibility since all of these financial crimes hinged on a bunch of lies and embezzlement and all of that? Or is that not allowed? Thanks, resub Papa Cat. Yes, for the jury. Okay. Okay. I figured, because it'd be silly not to, right? Like, you'd need to talk about the financial crimes, even though they are clearly one of the motives. Even if it wasn't necessarily a motive, I still feel like that's pertinent to the case. Since he's making a testimony, you need to be able to trust him as a person, like his character. So his financial crimes should be able to showcase, like, this isn't exactly a reliable narrator on things, right? At least I would think.
The defense countered that the financial crimes had nothing to do with the murders, and that the prosecution lacked proof that the two were related in any way. During direct examination, Alex explained that he committed a lot of financial crimes because of his drug addiction. Alex's lawyers portrayed the admission of wrongdoing as a willingness to come clean. They argued that a person who admits to lying isn't necessarily a person who commits violence, which is true in a general sense. However, was it a good strategy in this particular case to admit to years of financial fraud? Not really. On cross-examination,
Shocking. That's shocking.
Scored several key points. Prosecutor Waters held up a stack of papers relating to clients whom Alex stole from. Quote, "Every single one of these, you had to sit down and look someone in the eye and convince them that you were on their side when you were not."
Wow, that's hardball.
Do you remember even one of them?
If you ask me questions, but I can't remember sitting down with Dion.
Alex's response? "What I admit is I misled them. I did wrong, and that I stole their money." What Prosecutor Waters was getting at was this. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Alex Murdaugh is sitting there and looking at you and convince you of something, but you shouldn't believe him. Just look at how he lied in the past.
That's
Moreover,
strong
Alex
as fuck.
testified that all of his financial bad deeds were caused by his drug habit, which was costing him as much as $60,000 a week.
Who put this thing together? Me! That's who!
But maintaining his drug habit and hiding his financial crimes could have motivated him to violence, especially since he already admitted to a suicide for hire plot to funnel money to his surviving son. Finally, Alex has now confessed to several of the 99 indicted financial crimes. He's accused of stealing about $8.8 million, including embezzling about $3.7 million in 2019 alone. If he hadn't
That's quite a
testified,
bit.
all of his financial
Jesus.
fraud, ripping off disabled clients, stealing money from a dead housekeeper's sons,
What?
would have been front and center in this case. After both sides rested, it was the jury's turn to deliberate. And to be fair, there were weaknesses on both sides. The prosecution didn't find the two murder weapons. They didn't have any direct witnesses to the murders, and they lacked forensic evidence that juries sometimes look for in this age of CSI,
Exit tier 1
like a victim's blood
tiring
on
in
the
the
defendant's
resub
clothes.
Labisky, Zin,
Prosecutors
Crunchy,
guessed
Crow,
that the pair were
and
killed at around
the
9
Prime
p.m.,
B.
but they couldn't pinpoint a time of death with certainty. The alleged motive could also have struck some jurors as kind of weak. While murdering someone to cover up a lesser crime is not unheard of, killing your own wife and son over some financial crimes, it could be a bridge too far. And since the prosecution claimed that cousin Eddie left drugs for Alex near the kennels, the defense speculated that Eddie or Eddie's dealer friends may have been the real culprits. But these gaps in the prosecution's case are to be expected. Slam dunk prosecution cases often don't go to trial. And whatever weaknesses the prosecution may have had, the defense had vastly more. Alex said all of his bad deeds were caused by his drug habit. But maintaining his drug habit and hiding his financial crimes could have motivated him to violence, especially since he already admitted to a suicide for hire plot to funnel money to a surviving son.
Yeah, I feel like
The
that's
Beach
just a nail in the
family's-
coffin. It shows that he's willing to, like, A, die, or B, have someone killed. Kill. It's violent, right? Like, I feel like that is just truly a home run of evidence. Like, the importance of that to this can't be understated. And I mean, I guess it worked clearly. You got 2 life sentences, but still, I feel like that should have just been so fucking free right there. Thanks to the Prime, the resub Sky and the Prime Yeet and the resub Fabi and Saint. They figured out that he'd have to be doing $50K worth of drugs a week to spend all that money. Bruh, popping 60 oxys a day? That sounds like he probably was at 50K like a week somehow. Exit tier 1, swamped in the prime. Gabe. Exit prime cucumber. That's a month's prescription in a day. Yeah. Nah, that man was fucking popping those oxys like M&Ms apparently. Exit prime. Kemp and Shaboy.
Lawyer Chris Tinsley testified at trial that he intended to sue Maggie and Alex personally, which could have resulted in a huge verdict that would have destroyed their wealth.
He gets up close in my face and says, "Hey, Bo, what's this I'm hearing about what you're saying? If you don't think I can burn your house down and I'm not going to do everything you're wrong, you need to settle this case." So I took it as he tried to intimidate me. He didn't intimidate me and sort of bully me into backing off.
As for the weapons, prosecutors said casings for bullets from a .300 Blackout rifle were found near Maggie's body. And the Murdaughs owned a rifle chambered in .300 Blackout, and the weapon is now missing. Alex also couldn't account for the clothing he was wearing on the day of the murders. His clothes had never been found. His mother's caregiver testified that after the murders, Alex tried to remind her about what he was wearing.
I guess it's easy in hindsight, but I feel like even if I was in the court as this was unfolding, the second it came to that point, both of those in conjunction, I'd be like, well, he fucking did it. What kind of coincidence is that? Oh, so they were killed with .300 Blackout rounds. Oh, you have a weapon with .300 Blackout. That's a weird coincidence. Can you bring it in so we can just make sure like everything's, all good? Oh, it's missing. Well, what happened to it? Oh, you don't know. Oh. Okay, well, what about your clothes? Can we, like the clothes you were wearing on that night, maybe they picked up some forensic evidence from the real killers. Oh, you lost your clothes. Are you telling me a burglar came in the middle of the night while you were sleeping and took the fucking clothes off your back? Even your dirty goddamn undies, he took them? Oh. Like, what the fuck? This is outrageous.
He also tried to convince her that she misremembered the amount of time he spent with his mother that night.
He said, "You remember the shirt I was wearing, that Vinnie Vine shirt?" That's what he said to me. I don't remember that. I don't remember him wearing that shirt that day.
Alex said he was there for about 50 minutes. The caregiver told the police it was 10 to 20. All told, this is a case where Alex Murdaugh had to take the stand. Alex previously told police that he had not been to the kennels before the murders. The prosecution was able to prove through that Snapchat video that he almost certainly was. Under those circumstances, Alex had to explain the inconsistency himself. His defense attorney couldn't massage those facts or explain them away. Alex had to do what plenty of defendants have tried in the past. I lied about this, but I'm telling the truth about that.
Impossible.
By itself, that's not impossible.
No, that is impossible.
The problem is it opened up everything else. All of Alex's financial crimes and the suicide for hire scheme, and his credibility was shot. His testimony ended up sounding like something else entirely. I lied about this, and I'm lying about that. The speed of the jury's verdict, just 3 hours of deliberation after a trial lasting a month and a half.
That's a gold split.
Speaks volumes.
Yeah.
The day after the verdict was read, Alex Murdaugh was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences for murdering his wife and son. Rightfully so.
Yeah,
Agreed.
credibility in front of a judge or jury is everything. Whether you're a lawyer or a defendant, your credibility
What
is
a
often all
fucking
you have. And once
story.
you lose
What an
it,
adventure.
You never get it back. It's been fascinating to watch all the crazy twists and turns in the Murdaugh case. And one thing that has helped keep track of everything is today's sponsor, Morning Brew. Because that's my favorite way to catch up with pop culture
Thanks
and
for
news. In
Pegasus
fact, they've
and the
been covering the
Prime
Murdaugh
Viking
trial for weeks
and
now.
Blade.
When I wake up, Morning Brew is the first thing that I read. I've actually been subscribed to Morning Brew for forever. It's one of my absolute favorite newsletters, and I'm thrilled to tell you why. Because Morning Brew, if you didn't already know,
What happened
is
to
a free
Cousin
daily
Eddie
newsletter newsletter.
That's a
delivered
great
Monday through
question. I'm gonna
Sunday,
look it
and
up
gets you
while
up to
he's
speed
doing
on
the
business,
sponsor.
finance, tech, and law in just 5 minutes. And it provides a fantastic quick summary of the most important issues while being witty, irreverent, and informative. And did I mention it's completely free? This week, I learned all about ChatGPT on college campuses, Amazon backing out of building HQ2 because, you know, they're firing lots of people instead, and Chris Rock's new stand-up special.
He was part of the
Basically
trial.
exactly the mix of news that I'm actually interested in, and the stuff that I didn't even know I wanted to know about. And it's all written in a hilarious style. Morning Brew is one of the few emails that I actually open every single day. So, Legal Eagles, this one is a complete no-brainer. Morning Brew is completely free, and it takes less than
He's
15
right now in
seconds to
custody
subscribe.
on
Just click on the
charges
link that's
including
on
lying to
screen right
police
now
and
or in
owning
the
a
description to get
firearm.
Morning Brew for free. And not only will you get a newsletter that you'll actually read, you'll actually help out this channel too. So, click on the link below to get Morning Brew
That's the
right
most
away.
recent update.
And after that, click on this link over here for more Legal Eagle, or I'll see you in court.
As always, fucking amazing work from Legal Eagle. What an incredible breakdown. Holy shit. That was wild. That was wild. I was going to watch this one as well. This is about Sam Pepper. I'm sure a lot of you remember Sam Pepper if you've been on the internet for any length of time. Sam Pepper was an old prank channel who got notoriety when he did the kidnapping my best friend and executing his friend in front of him prank. I'm pretty sure it was faked. I'm not really sure, but either way it was really disturbing and weird. And then he turned into just a full-blown scammer. So he's taken big part in a lot of the NFT scams over the last 4 or 5 months, however long it's been. He's been like an integral part to scamming people in all of these big crypto scams. Yeah, he used to be friends with ICE. He used to go on a lot of their little misadventures. But now he's just a full-time scammer. And I guess
when
on
Sam
TikTok.
Pepper changed his TikTok description to the 2 words lottery winner, then claimed to have purchased an island in Thailand for $8.9 million, it was certainly bizarre and suspicious.
I have a budget of around 10 million. I can drive my speedboat directly in here, put a panoramic window right in here. I shook his hand, 8.9 million, great deal.
What was even stranger was that Sam hadn't provided any evidence for this unexpected lucky win. No receipts, no specification as to how much he had won, no news articles about
his
TikTok
TikTok,
winning the lottery.
they're
The
fucking
only evidence he had was his own
dumb.
personal
Like, they don't even have
anecdote.
object
I recently
permanence
won
yet.
the lottery, as some of you know.
And a 7 million view TikTok of him looking at islands in a small wooden boat. So when Sam Pepper was unable to provide any evidence to support the fact that he had any money at all, it was hardly a surprise. As those who know the past of Sam Pepper, from his active persona on Big Brother to his fake pranks on YouTube, know that
Hey,
his
that's the one I was
entire career
talking
has been
about.
built on lies in a similar fashion to Dan Bilzerian, who he unsurprisingly happens to be an acquaintance of, judging from an Instagram photo taken out the front of Bilzerian's LA mansion.
I think unironically, being Sam Pepper has to be truly miserable. The man's entire life, from everything I've seen, has been just living a full-blown lie. And I don't think he even has that much money to his name. I remember not that long ago, I think he was homeless. So he just lives a full-blown fake fabricated life and doesn't even make a living off of it because he has so many problems and just wastes all the money he scams. What a crazy cycle. What a absolutely, truly awful existence.
This video will cover the story of a man who faked, frauded, and swindled his way to social media and TikTok success, being exposed at every single point in his journey, yet still
I heard
managing
about
to
that
maintain his
vaguely on
relevancy
Twitter,
over a
Isoe.
10-year
I'm trying to look
period,
into that.
albeit with one of the worst reputations in internet history.
All this stuff is fake. Like, we believe it all, but it's really fake.
Before he would fake his way to success on TikTok with videos like this one, in which he'd gotten someone to dress up as Justin Bieber.
Is that Justin Bieber? Yeah. Oh my god. What do you call a gal from Canada that can't sing? Justin Bieber.
Sam Pepper had a prolific reputation on YouTube as one of the fakest pranksters on the platform dating back to the early 2010s.
So I worked out, oh, okay, I can do these pranks that these other channels are doing. And
He
I
was
can
one of the
just fake
first
them,
internet
like,
punching
like,
bags.
fake videos.
However, prior
Or
to
for
even
YouTube
this,
punching
Sam Pepper
bags.
had already begun to show his fake persona to the world in 2010 when he would appear on the show Big Brother UK for the very first time. In his Big Brother profile, he claimed to particularly dislike girls who put on a dumb act, yet this is seemingly what Sam began to gain a reputation for in the early days of his online career. However, one advantage that he did get out of his appearance on Big Brother was traffic to his brand new
Makes you
YouTube channel, where he
carbonated.
began to do pranks at a time when there were barely any other YouTubers doing pranks on the platform.
And there's like 3 channels that made pranks. There was me, there was like prank versus prank, and there was Ed Bassmaster. Really, they were the only kind of...
Damn, what an OG Ed.
And in the beginning, it was obvious that they were real. The reactions felt authentic, and there was way too many people in each video for Sam to have been paying all of them.
I'm really sorry, guys. I've just farted. Sorry, guys. I've just farted.
You should have a bit of respect in the manners.
Yeah, sorry,
What
man.
kind of an animal do you think
I couldn't hold it in.
What kind of an animal do you think you are?
I know. I'm sorry. I did say sorry. Sorry.
However, in 2014 and 2015, Sam ran into a problem.
Yeah, here it is.
Massive levels of competition from other YouTube pranksters who were faking their videos.
Then all these other
Didn't he go to the
prank
UK
channels,
after
they
he saved the
started
kids?
coming
I don't know
out
what he
and
did
they'd
after
be
that.
doing more and more and more crazy stuff. Because I come from doing pranks, I'd be like, there's no way they could be doing that. And that's when I worked out all this stuff is fake.
This was clearly
It doesn't take a
defining
genius
point
to know
for
that,
Sam
man.
Pepper and his social media career.
Anyone over
At
the
some
age of
point in their
14
journey,
knows
each
that.
of these fake pranksters have this similar awakening where they realize they can get way more views if they simply fake whichever reaction they desire, and that there's no actual requirement or guideline saying that their pranks need to be real. Each justify their actions by saying that a bunch of things on TV are fake, or this is fake, or that is fake, and as a result there's no reason as to why their pranks can't be fake either. Now, faking stuff for social media is a high risk, high reward strategy. Sure, it increases the quality of the videos massively, as you're going to get that exact reaction.
It's
which
not
will
really
make the
high
video perfect.
risk.
However, this only lasts until the audience inevitably discovers that the videos are fake, making it optimal only in the short term. We discussed this in the video
Thanks
talking
for
about how
resub,
Mitchel
Nina.
destroyed his reputation. As soon as the audience discovers that you faked even one video, they assume that every single video you've ever made is fake, completely removing all of your credibility in the space of about a month. The point at which Sam Pepper's audience discovered that his pranks were fake is pretty damn obvious. On his social blade, he went from gaining 100,000 subscribers every single month consistently between January 2013 and September 2014. However, 1 month later in October 2014, the growth not only stopped, but he began to lose around 10,000 subscribers every single month. The catalyst for this massive dive in viewership was a video titled Fake Hand Ass Pinch Prank, and after receiving a barrage of criticism from other
Cool
YouTubers,
prank idea.
His most recent fake hand ass pinch garnered the most negative attention because he was grabbing women's bottoms without their permission.
as well as a trending hashtag on Twitter stating "Report Sam Pepper," he had no other choice but to admit that the video had been faked.
I want to say that all the videos were staged and scripted. It goes without saying you can't go around touching people's bums without asking.
It was a double whammy, or two for the price of one. Not only had he
Jesus
been exposed
Christ.
for faking pranks, but he also had his name dragged through the mud as a result of the backlash from the video. Sam began posting real pranks again following the expose in the hope that it'd fix his reputation. However, as mentioned previously, once your audience knows you faked even one video, they assume they're all fake.
Yeah, but you
Switching back
still
to real
have the
pranks failed
audience
stop
to
his
some
declining
degree.
subscriber count, so Sam made a decision. It was time to go back to faking his videos.
I'm still making videos, and then it gets to a point where I'm like, okay, well, I've made fake videos before and they've done well and they've got like decent views. Why don't I make, another video? And that brings me on to making the best friend killing prank.
Yeah, that's the
best
one.
friend killing prank. Arguably one of, if not the most over-the-top insane YouTube pranks of all time. Certainly crazy enough to put Sam Pepper's name back on the map. Involved in the video was the fake kidnapping of two friends, after which one of the
Fuck,
friends
I remember
was
this
killed
well.
right in front of
I
the
remember this
other,
very
with the premise
well.
of the video being how will someone react if they watch their friend get killed.
Let's see how he reacts to his best friend of 5 years being killed in front of him.
Obviously, the whole thing was
What a good
fake.
prank.
All three people were in on it, even coming up with the idea together.
Sam's channel, he just came to us and wanted.
What would happen if I
to do a viral
executed
stunt,
your
and we're
family?
Like, okay, cool. We'll help you out with
Would
this
he
viral
find
stunt.
it enjoyable when I
actually
reveal they're not
all
dead?
came up with the idea together before we even filmed it.
However, while everyone knew that the prank had been faked, it had a similar effect to the previous scandal.
Did you know making this type of prank would be so controversial?
All it did was once again
Matthew?
reveal to everyone that Sam Pepper was the kind of guy to fake his videos, reducing his credibility even further. With this in mind, it's no surprise that almost all of his audience bailed on his YouTube channel from that point onwards. He managed to stop the decline of his subscriber count for a couple of months in late 2016 as shown on screen. However, he'd thrown the towel only a couple of months later, uploading his final video on the 5th of March 2017 before departing with a legacy as
Maleficency?
one of the most deplorable fake pranksters in YouTube history. Around a year later, he'd show up on the CX network doing some IRL live streams alongside Ice Poseidon.
We're literally just showing Sam the ropes of IRL streaming and
Just, you know, we're gonna just throw him in the deep end here and just see how he does.
With the
Damn, I can't believe it's already been like
so
4 or
downtrodden,
5
the top
years.
comment on the video praised Ice Poseidon by stating, "Love how you don't judge people or care about reputations." Sam had some success as an IRL streamer in the CX network, however, he was ultimately dropped after an argument with Ice Poseidon, which had partially been fueled by Sam Pepper's lack of integrity.
He's like, oh, it's okay to lie as long as it doesn't affect anything. And that's not okay. Like, why are you telling my girlfriend it's okay to lie to me? As long as it doesn't affect anything. Like, dude, this is not your relationship.
After this, Sam Pepper disappeared from the mainstream. His
Until
was completely
crypto
and utterly
scams,
destroyed. He had nothing
baby.
left to offer, and it seemed as though the Sam Pepper saga was finally dead and buried, alongside the many other failed YouTubers.
He's
that
just an
had
actual
come before him.
cockroach.
However, it would be when Sam Pepper
He
found
always
a
comes
new
back.
audience on a new platform that his fraudulent antics
I didn't know
would
about the TikTok
continue.
thing though.
Okay, Chris, I pulled out some of my savings, I've clipped it onto these balloons. This is a trust exercise. Turn around, I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, go. You've got to turn around and quickly grab them. Don't let this go, this is my savings. 3, 2, 1. Chris! Chris! I don't want to. You said Chris!
Oh,
This video, which
no!
was clearly set up and probably used a stack of fake $100 bills, racked up over 28 million views. Now, the most interesting part about Sam Pepper's TikTok blow-up is that it follows the exact same trend as his YouTube journey. He blows up with a genuine, heartfelt video about saving some duck eggs from a restaurant, then progressively makes his content more and more staged, and by the end he's claiming that he's won the lottery with
Thanks,
absolutely zero evidence. Now, to Sam
That's-
Pepper's credit, as we mentioned previously, a lot of his TikToks were genuine, authentic, creative ideas, especially in the beginning. However, with videos such as this clearly fake one gaining over 18 million views,
Sam is scum. Yeah, dude sucks.
Open this.
Hey, let's do that.
it's really no surprise that he began to make his videos faker and faker.
I know this is really crazy, but if I play you rock, paper, scissors and I win, can I like rip this down the street? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh my god, get fucked,
I'm
idiot.
gonna get in the passenger, I'm scared.
Get fucked, dummy.
Alright.
People who think this is real. The countless fake viral videos receiving massive view counts and minimal backlash likely gave Sam Pepper the idea that he could literally just say whatever, regardless of how unbelievable it happened to be, leading to his completely fictitious claim about winning the lottery. When you Google Sam Pepper wins lottery or Sam Pepper lottery, the only results that come up are his TikTok video, the same video posted to his Instagram, and an old forum post titled as follows.
That's just
Scam
TikTok?
Pepper
yeah,
living a
man.
life of luxury
TikTok
after
is
scamming his
just
followers for millions and fleeing
That's
the
a
US.
wild
He's claiming to have
wasteland.
won the lottery while shopping for islands and a new fan base to scam. This refers to the whole Save the Kids scandal that was exposed
Yeah.
by Coffeezilla back in July 2021. In the final episode of his series, Coffeezilla discovered that Sam Pepper was potentially at the heart of the entire scam and had fled the USA to move back to the United Kingdom.
It looks like Sam Pepper is fleeing the United States to escape legal accountability for what happened. But I asked him about this, and he, of course, denies this categorically.
Therefore, this post stating Scam Pepper living a life of luxury after scamming his followers for millions assumes that he does actually have the money, only that he's covering it up
Oh,
by
that's
saying
sad
that
to
he
hear
won
that,
the lottery
nerdy.
as opposed to the truth, being that he might have received it from the Save the Kids crypto scam. Although, in order to be buying an $8.9 million island in Thailand, you're probably going to need around 50 to 100 million in order for it to be a comfortable purchase, and while Sam Pepper has had a fairly successful social media career, I doubt he has access to that kind of money.
I
Obviously,
can
the
assure
easiest
you
way to
he
put all of
doesn't.
this to rest would be for Sam Pepper
He's
to
a
simply
serial
provide some
scammer
kind of evidence
who is
for either winning
also
the lottery or the
historically
purchase of the
awful
island.
with money.
However, with a track record like Sam's filled with
No
fake
chance.
video after fake video, it seems pretty obvious that like the rest of his entire career, this is nothing more than yet another
So is this what he
hoax.
does now, like full time? He just full time pretends to be a lottery winner on TikTok? I mean, I guess it's better than the alternative of scamming everyone. Now he's just lying again. Let's see. Yep. Wow. What an interesting loser. Yeah, that man's like an OG punching bag for the internet. Hey, thanks for the 10 gift subs, Cobalt. Appreciate it, man. Killing best friend prank is a timeless classic. It really is. Literally Dan Bilzerian. There's a huge difference between Sam Pepper and Dan Bilzerian. Dan Bilzerian was a massively rich kid from birth because of his dad. Sam Pepper pretends to be a massively rich guy from scamming. They're both like genuine full-blown liars living a fake life, But at the very least, Dan does have a lot of money to back it up because of his family. Sam has nothing besides lying on TikTok and scamming 16-year-olds on Twitter out of crypto.